This presentation is copyright Neversink Media Group and may not be recorded or otherwise distributed without the express written consent of the owner of the broadcast.
The following is a special presentation of WDLC Sports. WDLC Country, in cooperation with the Port Jervis High School Athletic Department, is proud to present Raiders football. Let's go to the 50-yard line. Here's Kevin Halpenny and Tom Fagione with the play-by-play.
Happy Saturday. It is time for state playoff football. Good afternoon from Goshen High School in Goshen, New York, the Coliseum, where today your Section 9 Class B champion Port Jervis Raiders enter the New York State Public High School Athletic Association's state football tournament to take on the Class B champions from Section 1, the Garnets of Rye City High School, in a state quarterfinal game here on Country 95.3 and 107.7. It's presented by ADAC, the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County. Alongside Tom Fagione and Ethan McElroy, I'm Kevin Halpenny. The Wizard Gavin Burt is doing wizardly things at our WDLC Country Studios today. We thank him for helping us today, and we thank you for spending some of your Saturday with us and joining us for our countdown to kickoff. We are about 31 minutes away from the start of this state quarterfinal matchup. It is 46 degrees. It feels like 40 here in Goshen. The clouds are starting to break up. When we arrived this morning, it was heavily overcast, drizzly, windy, and very cool. It's still all of that except for heavily overcast. The sky is turning blue, and the clouds are making their way out of here. We will have some wind to deal with over the course of our broadcast today. Well, I should say maybe the football teams will have some wind to deal with. We're fortunate to be inside and out of the elements. It's going to be winds from the northwest at 10 miles an hour. And it is, in spite of maybe any negative connotation I assigned to that weather just now, it is perfect playoff football weather. You want to be playing in this weather because that means you are playing in the most meaningful games of the high school football season. So I would like to open by talking some numbers with you. Let's talk September 1st. That was 77 days ago. On that day, Port Jervis was one of 9 Class B schools in Section 9 embarking on another season of high school football. One of 9 schools across Orange, Sullivan, Ulster, and Dutchess counties competing for a Section 9 title. Fast forward to today, Port Jervis is one of 8 Class B teams in all of New York State still playing high school football. The Raiders hammered Marlboro last week 37-7, and believe it or not, that was their closest margin of victory in Class B play this year. That helped them capture their school record 5th straight Section 9 titles. It equals Marlboro's streak of 5 straight Class B crowns from about a decade ago. So hats off to you, Raiders. We are very proud of the young men and women that are part of this program, the hard work that they've put in and the success that they've earned. But both you and I both know that the work is just beginning for these Raiders. This season is the 30th anniversary of the state playoffs in their current format. 2023 marks Port Jervis's 9th trip to the state tournament. It would have been 10 if not for the COVID season in 2020-2021. But alas, that didn't happen. Twice before today, the Raiders made it to the state semifinals, 1997, 2019. Today, they aim to make it 3 times. Those of us who are sports fans, and especially those sports fans who broadcast, we love to talk about these stats. But your Raiders, they're only concerned with one number. That's the number on the scoreboard at the end of the game. And as long as Port has one more point than Rye, the Raiders won't care about any of that stuff I just talked about. They'll have written their own history and won this game as a team. That's precisely how they plan for today to go. Our broadcast today is made possible in part by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County, as well as attorney Matthew D. Witherow, Gray Parker Funeral Home, attorney David Bavoso and Glenn Plotsky, Little Pediatrics, Masters Pest Control, Bucky's Taxi, Neversink Lumber, Millie's Pooch Parlor, and Brace Landscaping. They're all combining in this effort to bring Port Jervis High School football to the radio and the internet wherever you are. Kickoff is set for 1 o'clock today, 27 minutes from now. We have a lot to bring you. We spoke to seniors Dorian Belize and Derek Young this week during practice. We'll bring that conversation to you later in the pregame. Up next, we're going to look at the Withrow Law out-of-town scoreboard and one last look at the Port Jervis Youth Football League report. It is state tournament football, Port Jervis versus Rye. You're going to hear it all live right here on Country 95.3 and 107.7, presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
Adolescent use of nicotine, alcohol, or other drugs could have serious harmful effects and should not be considered just a rite of passage. If you are concerned your teen may be struggling with substance use, ADAC can help. Teen Intervene is a brief intervention for youth who may be experiencing negative consequences from vaping, drinking, or other drug use. Participants learn about the negative effects of substance use as well as healthy coping skills. This program is free to all youth aged 12 to 19. Visit adacinfo.com to schedule an appointment.
I'm Ed Horrell, founder of the Kindness Revolution. Today we want to say thank you to the over 62 million in the U.S. who volunteered their time for various organizations. That's a staggering number, 62 million. But according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, that number is actually on the decline, possibly as much as 4% lower than a few years ago. So our challenge this week is simple. Do two things. First of all, if you know of someone who's volunteering their time for a good cause, tell them thank you. Whether it's a soup kitchen, coaching an athletic team, or singing in the choir, why not take a minute and say thanks? But just as importantly, why not take a look and see what each of us can do to volunteer a little time to help a good cause? Causes doing good and in need of volunteers are everywhere, so they won't be hard to find. To learn more, check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
Hi everyone, this is David Bavoso from Bavoso & Plotsky, your neighborhood law firm. We're excited to see you back and ready for another great season. Bavoso & Plotsky continues to be here, ready to support the community and to assist with the legal needs of those that call this community home. Ranging from real estate to criminal law, family law to wills, trusts, and estates, we have the experience and the know-how to help you. If you should ever need us, please don't hesitate to call or email. Thank you and enjoy the game.
For more information on Bavoso and Plotsky, go to portjervislawyers.com.
Yard by yard, Raiders football is live on WDLC Country.
Welcome back to the countdown to kickoff. 25 minutes away from Port Jervis and Rye in the New York State quarterfinals Class B action happening simultaneously on our sister station Wall Radio. Class AA state quarterfinal, Middletown battling Christian Brothers Academy. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Right now, I want to remind you that you're listening to Port Football on WDLC Country, 95.3 and 107.7 FM, 1490 AM, online at WDLCcountry.com. If you have friends or family out of the area, please send them to WDLCcountry.com to listen to the Raiders live. That internet stream is available on the WDLC Country app, which is free to download. Also on apps like TuneIn and iHeartRadio, and on smart speakers that are enabled with the skills of TuneIn and iHeartRadio. There are a number of ways for you to listen to Raider football wherever you are, wherever you have an internet connection or a radio signal. And we thank you for joining us today. I have some early shout-outs to get in. First and foremost, I want to wish an early happy birthday to my son, Noah Halpenny. We are 2 days away from having a teenager in the house. Noah will be 13 on Monday. Noah, I could not be more proud of the smart and talented young man that you are becoming. You're incredibly gifted musically, and your enthusiasm for baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies, and your friends, life in general, it's infectious. I love you, buddy. You make me proud, and I wish you a happy birthday coming up on Monday. We cannot wait to celebrate you tomorrow as a family, and we celebrated Noah last night with his friends. I want to thank my brother-in-law, George Kovach, who helped out tremendously with that birthday party, and all of Noah's friends for stopping out. We want to wish a happy belated birthday to Coach Jerry Stellato. That was on Thursday. Also on Thursday, it was Matt Witherow's birthday, double nickels. So happy belated birthday to you. attorney Matthew D. Witherow, and what a better segue to get into our Witherow Law out-of-town scoreboard. Matt sponsors our scoreboard every week here on Port Jervis High School football. It was not a great start for Section 9 last night in state play. In Mahopac yesterday afternoon, Burke Catholic fell 37-19 to Haldane out of Section 1. So the Eagles' season ends at 8-1. I believe actually 8-2. They were the Class D representative for Section 9. No Class D championship this year, so Burke got an automatic entry to the state tournament, and unfortunately, it was a short-lived trip for the Eagles as they fall 37-19 to Haldane. Cornwall, perennial Class A power, not just in Section 9, but in the state. Well, they ran up against an even better Class A team out of the Capital Region. Niskayuna, the Warriors defeated Cornwall 49-14 last night in Goshen, where we're at right now. And in 8-man football, Sullivan West's dream season came to an end. They lost 44-0 to Moravia. So an 0-3 start for Section 9. We'll talk about the two other Section 9 teams that are in action besides Port Jervis today in just a moment. But first, we want to tip our caps to the Delaware Valley Warriors out of Milford, Pennsylvania. Coach Keith Olsemer and his squad with a dominant 56-27 victory over Whitehall out of District 11, the Lehigh Valley area. The Warriors, for just the second time in program history, will go into the PIAA state quarterfinals. They did so in the COVID season of 2021, where they fell to York. This time they'll play either Imhotep Charter or Roman Catholic. Those two teams are battling today for the District 12 5A championship in Pennsylvania football, and those are two heavy hitters. Imhotep went to the state championships last year in 5A. Delaware Valley, we'll see either them or Roman Catholic next weekend, and as soon as we have a date and time and all that good stuff, we'll share it with you for sure. And want to give a shout out to our brothers in broadcasting, Jake Graziano and Craig Brown. Jake and the judge called the game last night, and they had to be absolutely thrilled to see Delaware Valley show up, get a little revenge on Whitehall, who beat them last year, and advance to that next round of state tournament play. Very exciting times for the Delaware Valley Warriors in Milford, and certainly Port Jervis hopes to join them in that next round of state play as well. So does Middletown. Our brothers in broadcasting, DJ McPherson and Sweet Lou Massey on Wall Radio this afternoon, calling Middletown against Christian Brothers Academy out of Section 2. Those are two 9-1 teams and a Class AA state quarterfinal. The winner of that plays either Shenendehowa, they are an alternate out of Section 2, or Carmel from Section 1. That state semifinal game will be Saturday, November 25th at Fowler Field in Middletown at 6 p.m. Middletown making their first appearance in the New York State Public High School Athletic Association's state tournament since 1994. Exciting times for Coach Tim Strenfeld and the Midi Bears, and of course for our own DJ McPherson and Lou Massey as well. The Section 9 Class C champion O'Neill Raiders, defending New York State champions in Class C. They are in Middletown, they're in Mahopac today at 12 o'clock. Taking on Section 1's Bronxville as O'Neill begins in earnest their state title defense. And if they are fortunate enough to win and move on, they will play Section 2's Fonda Fultonville next Saturday in Middletown. Fonda Fultonville defeated Section 10's Governor last night 22-0. Our PJYFL report, just quickly want to give a shout out to the Mighty Mites. They wrapped up their season last weekend at the Mighty Mite Bowl in Washingtonville as bronze medalists. Young Raiders, congratulations. You worked hard all season long to get where you finished. We're very proud of you, and we look forward to seeing you guys grow as football players, as young men and women in our community, and look forward to seeing you guys on the varsity a few years down the road. The kids who are on the field today for Port Jervis, they were where you are once as well as young Mighty Mites. So it's only a matter of time. Congratulations to you, to your coaches, and to everybody in the Port Jervis Youth Football League. All right, we're going to take a quick break on our countdown to kickoff. 18 minutes to game time. Up next, we're going to talk to seniors Dorian Belize and Derek Young. You're listening to live coverage of Port Jervis High School football right here on Country 95.3 and 107.7, presented by ADAC.
If your doggy's do is looking more like a don't, great news. Millie's Pooch Parlor at 92 Front Street in historic downtown Port Jervis. We have a large and attentive staff ready to give your dog the spa day they deserve with all-inclusive services and never a hidden charge for upgrades like medical and specialty baths. We have individual and spacious holding areas to provide your dog with a safe and relaxed environment before and after grooming. Call Millie's Pooch Parlor, 845-858-0608.
This is Port Jervis High School football on WDLC Country.
Time now for another senior spotlight as we get ready for Port Jervis and Rye and the regional final here in Class B state playoffs. We're talking to Dorian Belize, Derek Young. Guys, thank you for giving me some of your time. First, if you could introduce yourselves and tell me what positions you play or what your roles are for the team. Dorian, we'll start with you.
All right, so I play defensive nose guard and defensive right tackle. And you just mess stuff up, you know.
Derek?
I'm just a kicker. That's really it.
Not just the kicker, you're key in the field position game. And I wanted to ask you right out of the gate, I'm thinking about the last two games. The team has scored over 100 points. So you're kicking a lot the last 2 weeks. Did it feel like you were kicking more than normal?
Yeah, my leg was really hurting, but, it's all right. More kickoffs means more playing time for me.
Tell me a little bit about the journey that led you to be the place kicker for Port.
It all started last year on JV. I never knew I could kick. I played soccer, but never know I can kick. Then I tried it, and I can kick the ball pretty far, and the onside kick's pretty good.
What kind of work goes into it for you, in the offseason to get ready and in the week-to-week during practice?
Just making sure my leg's ready. Pretty much just kicking every day, maybe 20 times a day. Maybe start off maybe 15, then work up to 20. But other than that, nothing really.
Dorian, you mentioned your work on the defensive line. Your defensive line has been extremely strong this year. Yes. Tell me, what do you think are the keys to the success for Port up front defensively?
You put in the work. The amount of work that you put in is what you're going to get out come Friday during your season or Saturday. I never started off at D-line. I started at running back and then stopped playing that. And then now I'm here at D-line, making stuff happen for the team.
What was that transition like to go from somebody who's carrying the ball to somebody who's trying to stop the ball carrier?
It wasn't really that big of a drastic change because I used to play line, and I lost a little bit of weight, and then JV season, running back. And then my junior year on varsity, I went to O-line to help out there because we had limited men. And then I came back to running back, and then now I'm back at D-line. So it wasn't really that big of a change. I already knew what I was doing. I already knew what the job was. Just had to put in the work to get it done.
You guys were very impressive against Marlboro. You hold them to 7 points. You mentioned before you like to mess stuff up. You messed a lot of stuff up in that game. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how you feel about how you played and how the team played against Marlboro.
Overall, first as a team, I think we played very well. Came out on top, and now the trophy's back. We're supposed to be at home.
So, Derek, that win over Marlboro, 5 straight Section 9 titles. What kind of reaction did you get going back to school on Monday?
I was very excited, and every teacher in there was congratulating us and saying how proud they were.
Does that help motivate you guys when you get that kind of feedback in school?
Yeah, it helps us to feel good what we're doing. After school, we got to go on the field. It's not forced. You're motivated to do it.
Dorian, tell me a little bit about the game plan against Rye. What have you guys seen on film from them, and what do you think you guys have to do to have success?
Any team could beat a team, it all depends on who wants it more. I definitely do believe that we want it more, and we definitely do deserve it. It's five times section champ. Nobody does that. We definitely do owe it to ourselves to make it farther and hopefully to the state finals. So hopefully next weekend we'll be in practice, in pads. And if not, then I'll be on my way to my track season. So
that's perfect segue, Dorian. What else do you do outside of football? You mentioned track. Is it just track, or are you involved in other sports?
So I do indoor and outdoor track. So indoor, I do the 55-meter sprint. I do shot put and hammer throw. And then outdoor, I do shot put, disc, and javelin.
So I'm a little bit ignorant on track. I was surprised to hear you say you do sprinting and you do the power stuff. Is that unusual?
Some track meets I go to, I'll see someone that was from indoor that did the 55 that throws outdoor. It's not very common.
Derek, how about you? Do you play other sports during the year?
Mainly just baseball after football.
What positions do you play in baseball?
Catcher and right field.
What about extracurricular stuff? You involved in anything else besides sports?
No, not really. If I'm not playing a sport, I'm usually working, or if it's hunting or fishing season, I usually am out there.
Yeah.
Doing stuff.
How about you, Dorian? Anything involved outside of athletics?
I joined Equals Movement last year for our school, so it's like, how can we make the world a better place, just by starting with inside of the school and in the community.
When you're not in school, you're not playing football, what kinds of stuff do you do outside of that?
Usually I'm at home with my mom, my sisters, my dad, my brother, all chilling.
Is the family stoked about what you guys are doing on the football field?
Yeah, my whole family was at the game last week, so it was good to see them there. It was a really important game, so I was happy to see everybody there.
Derek, you mentioned before when you're not in school or in sports, you're working. Any other interests, or you have an interesting job?
It's kind of a weird job. I work on a dairy farm. Or if I'm not doing anything, I have a dirt bike and go ride in the fields. And
nice. All right, so you guys are both seniors. The last question I'll ask is do you know what you'd like to do after graduation? Derek, we'll start with you.
I'm going to Ohio Tech for welding and hopefully getting a pipeline job out west and just traveling from there until I get enough money saved up and build my own house and a lot of land.
That's some real specific stuff there. Any particular inspiration to go that route?
My grandfather, he's a welder. Like both my great-grandfather and my grandfather were welders, so it's kind of like runs in the family. So I'm the youngest, so I got to go up there and get it.
Keep it going?
And keep it going.
Keep that line moving. Yeah. Dorian, how about you? What would you like to do after graduation?
I want to go to college. I don't know which one yet. I do want to major in either animal science or photography. So that's definitely one of my plans. I don't know how far I want to go, but I know I'm going somewhere after high school. So
animal science and photography are two pretty distinctly different fields. What got you interested?
I started taking a lot of pictures during my 10th grade year. I've started to take a liking to that. So any moment, if I can catch it, sometimes I take a picture of the sky. And animal science, I love animals. Animals they're very interesting. They're amazing creatures, and they should be prioritized on this earth.
Guys, thanks for sticking around late after practice when it's cold. Dorian Belize, Derek Young, good luck against Rye.
Thank you.
All right, we're about 11 minutes away from kickoff here at the Coliseum in Goshen, New York. Class B state quarterfinal between your Port Jervis Raiders and the Rye Garnets, live here on WDLC Country. We'll send it back to the studio. When we get back, Tom Fagione joins me for our Bavoso and Plotsky keys to the game. This is good stuff, folks. State football here on WDLC Country, presented by ADAC.
Hey, do you need a ride? Dial 845-856-3544 for Bucky's Taxi. They serve the entire tri-state area with local and long-distance taxi service. Now, whether you just need a ride to work or maybe your family needs a lift to the airport, Bucky's Taxi can get you where you need to go. Bucky's Taxi takes great pride in their transportation service. That's why they keep their cars clean and their drivers safe. The next time you need to be somewhere, call Bucky's Taxi, 845-856-3544.
Who are you going to believe? The business who paid for this ad or the customers who paid for their product? Because this is what people say about Masters Pest Control.
I've been using Masters since I moved here 8 years ago, and I'll never switch. Every technician and everyone that works in the office have been nothing but nice and friendly, and they make you feel comfortable every time you contact them. Thank you for your service.
Call Masters Pest Control today to receive quality service.
After 9 years as an assistant district attorney, Matt Witherow returned to his hometown to serve the community he grew up in. Now located at 150 East Main Street, Matt Witherow is licensed in New York and Pennsylvania to help you navigate legal matters including real estate transactions, personal injury, wills, traffic matters, and foreclosure assistance. Count on the law office of Matthew D. Witherow to guide you like a neighbor would. Call for a free consultation, 856-5900 for the law office of Matthew D. Witherow. Online at port-jervis-law.com.
Neversink Lumber. We're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore at Neversink Lumber, 95 Jersey Avenue, Port Jervis, or online at neversinklumber.net.
Planning a service is a difficult time. Gray Parker Funeral Home will help make this difficult time a special one with a range of services to help fit your needs and every opportunity to make the moment one to remember. Gray Parker Funeral Home is a family-owned and operated business serving our community since 1924, located at 100 East Main Street, Port Jervis. For more information, go to grayparkerfuneralhome.com or call 845-856-5191.
Uh-oh, is it an allergy or a cold? There's only one way to know for sure. Port Jervis native Dr. Sarah Little of Little Pediatrics is here to help your child get back outside playing in no time. Parents need a pediatrician they know and trust. Little Pediatrics is open Monday through Saturday. To schedule an appointment, call 845-672-3995. Little Pediatrics, Orchard Street, Port Jervis. Don't forget to like Little Pediatrics on Facebook, too.
We're going back to the field for more Port Jervis football, only on WDLC Country.
7 minutes from kickoff here on WDLC Country. Alongside Tom Fagione, I'm Kevin Halpenny. Ethan McElroy will be joining us shortly. Before we get to the Bavoso and Plotsky keys to the game, I just wanted to give out some more shout-outs. You know, we love to give our shout-outs. Grandma and Grandpa K listening in Oregon for the last 7 minutes of the morning and then into the afternoon. Always great to hear from them. They say go Rye and go Red Raiders, and they mean Ryan Ross, not the Rye Garnets. They say we got this, and thank you so much for tuning in. Want to give a shout-out to Darren Kunis and Orange County Bagels, the official sponsor of our pregame tailgate today, T-Bone.
Kev, great to be here. It's playoff weather. We're in the heart of the state playoffs here, and not a good day doesn't get started with some good Black Rifle coffee made at home and a great sandwich from Orange County Bagels. So we had our pregame, and Kev, man, I've been gnawing at the bleachers here. I'm ready to go, brother.
Absolutely. I want to give a couple more shout-outs. I want to say shout-out to George Cheshire. Last week I mentioned the Port Jervis Little League senior baseball team winning the District 19 Harvest Cup tournament. That's huge. Great for the kids. Super proud of them. But I also wanted to give a special shout-out to their coach, George Cheshire. This is a guy who's been coaching Little League for probably 25 years, maybe 30, like a long, long time. He's been coaching Little League, and, a number of those years are without him having a kid playing, and that's really incredible. You know, the volunteer effort that goes into Little League is enormous, and George is one of our best and most reliable volunteers, and I don't know, enough can't be said about George Cheshire and what he offers the Port Jervis Little League and the community, the kids who play baseball for him, and Dodger Nation. You guys know what George is all about. I also wanted to wish a speedy recovery to Chad Snyder. If you know Chad, you know this guy is, he's the best of the best. And he is dealing with a crazy injury right now. So, Chad, we wish you a speedy recovery. Got to know Chad through the Port Jervis Little League. I mean, this guy is the epitome of a quality volunteer. He steps up, field maintenance, equipment, umpiring, you name it. Chad is willing to do it. And, if he does that for the community, he goes above and beyond for his family, too, his wife and his 3 kids. So, Chad, wish you the best, man. Hopefully you have a speedy recovery and, get back to doing all the things you love. Tommy, you got any quick shout-outs before we get into our keys to the game?
Listen, Port Jervis is about football and family. Everyone out there listening, we're going to get through the course of the game giving shout-outs to everyone. If you're not here, you're listening at home, and I hope you're as excited as I am and you are, Kev, because, dude, we're ready to go, brother.
Let's do it, man. Let's do the Bavoso and Plotsky keys to the game. Actually, what happened with the coin toss?
I believe Port deferred for the second half.
All right, so what do we got, Tommy? Bavoso and Plotsky keys to the game?
Listen, we're talking championship football. There's only one person I can think of, and that's the great Vince Lombardi. He is known for so many great quotes in his history as one of the greatest football coaches in all time. And one of his greatest quotes I wear on my wrist every day: perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. The Raiders are here today. They don't have to be perfect, but boy, if they chase that excellence, they'll come out on top. Number 2, Vince Lombardi once said, you don't win once in a while. Winning is a habit. And we've seen Port Jervis show off that habit of winning throughout the course of this season with just unbelievable success. We talked about it in the off the air, about the amount of points that they've scored. This team knows what the winning habit's all about. And last but not least, the difference between a successful person and others is not the lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will. This Port Jervis Raider team, they have the will to win. We saw it last week. We saw the setbacks through the course of the season that they've dealt with. Never once have they quit on themselves. They turn to the left, they turn to the right, they believe in each other. We believe in them. We're here today from start to finish to root them on to victory.
And we'll be back to do that in just a moment here on WDLC. Our coverage presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
Who are you going to believe? The business who paid for this ad or the customers who paid for their product? Because this is what people say about Masters Pest Control.
Lucy wrote, "As always, your company has exceeded my expectation of your service. Technician was professional with an extra touch of kindness and caring. I'm in real estate and praise your company when pest control comes up. Thank you."
Visit masterspestcontrol.com today and get those bugs out tomorrow.
Uh-oh, is it an allergy or a cold? There's only one way to know for sure. Port Jervis native Dr. Sarah Little of Little Pediatrics is here to help your child get back outside playing in no time. Parents need a pediatrician they know and trust. Little Pediatrics is open Monday through Saturday. To schedule an appointment, call 845-672-3995. Little Pediatrics, Orchard Street, Port Jervis. Don't forget to like Little Pediatrics on Facebook, too.
It's Raiders football right here on WDLC Country.
And the home of the
Phenomenal rendition. We'll try to get the name of that student who did that. But
Fantastic.
It was excellent, and we are ready for kickoff. The Raiders will be on defense first. We'll see that Rye offense that pounded opponents all season long and put 35 on Pleasantville last week. We'll see them on the field first. And here we go, folks. This is the state football playoffs. Port Jervis Rye, Class B quarterfinal, Goshen High School.
8 teams. I'm holding up 5 fingers in one hand, 3 in the other. There are 8 teams in Class B football left all throughout New York State. Port Jervis is one of them. They have earned the right to be here today. They have every right to be on this field. And let's see how they come out and get things started. And, of course, I was wrong. Port's going to kick off.
All right, so I want to give a shout-out to Jamie McElroy, who just checked in listening to Raider football today. It has turned into an absolutely gorgeous day in Goshen. The clouds have almost completely disappeared. Blue skies above this field turf here at the Coliseum. A Goshen logo in the middle of the field with the gladiator helmet and the mohawk across the top with the words Goshen. And here we go. Derek Young has it teed up at the Port 40. He'll kick it away right to left. Young approaches the ball, sends it short. It's a squibber, and it is fallen on by Rye at their own 48-yard line. The Raiders go to the bag of tricks immediately, and it doesn't work. Rye is going to have great field position on this first drive. Port Jervis in their home black jerseys, black pants. Numerals are in red, outlined in white. Raiders across the front in block letters. They have the red and white accent stripes on the shoulders. Black matte finish helmets with the red interlocking PJ outlined in white and the white stripe down the middle. Rye, road white jerseys, black pants, red numerals outlined in black, red matte finish helmet with the Green Bay Packers style G in red inside of a white circle. A.J. Miller, the quarterback, out of the shotgun on first down. Left to right they go. Miller will throw on first down to the near sideline, and it's caught for a first down at the Raiders' 36-yard line. On the near side of the field, they find a soft spot in that Raiders defense, and they complete it to Charlie Stevens. So it's another first down for Rye. Our first quarter is sponsored by Masters Pest Control.
And Rye is a very balanced offense, both on the ground running the ball and passing the ball. And that was a nice pass into that zone coverage for Port Jervis. 1st and 10 Rye in Port Jervis territory.
Garnets will snap it from the near side hash mark, going left to right in the first quarter. They'll snap it at the Port Jervis 36-yard line. Miller will continue to work out of the shotgun. The senior, 6'3", 195-pound quarterback. Straight drop back, looks left. He throws left, and it is caught by their big tight end, and he will carry the Raider defense to the 25 for a first down. Jake Kessner, just a junior, but 6'4", 235 pounds, and they'll move the chains again.
That's NFL numbers there, 6'4", 235, a junior tight end for Rye. That's quite a target. And for Kessler, 24 receptions, 482 yards coming into this game. Kid knows how to catch.
Port had him stopped before the stick, but he carried about 6 defenders with him to the 25. They'll move to the far side hash mark, a first down for Rye at the Port Jervis 25-yard line. Left to right they go. Early going in the first quarter, no score. Miller will stay in the shotgun, and they'll give it on the ground to Uliano. Uliano runs left, has some space, gets to the 20-yard line, and he's wrestled down at about the 18. So for the first time today, Port Jervis stops Rye before they can go across the first down mark.
Uliano comes into this game 961 yards on the ground. The premier back for the Garnets averages, how about this, 5.8 yards per carry.
Well, he got 6 there. That makes sense, Tommy. Second and 4 for Rye at the Port Jervis 19-yard line. The Garnets are in the red zone now. Miller will stay in the shotgun. Uliano to his right. And a receiver to go in motion, and they will give it to Uliano. He'll run left, has a hole to the 15. Uliano to the 10, and he's brought down at the Port Jervis 9-yard line. The Raiders are getting blown off the line of scrimmage on this first possession for Rye.
Well, we talked to Uliano's grandfather pregame. He's right up here in front of us in the press box. This junior has committed to Notre Dame to play lacrosse upon graduating high school. So you can imagine the type of athletic talent this young man is.
All right. First and goal to go for Rye at the Port Jervis 9-yard line. We have 10 minutes exactly left in the Masters Pest Control first quarter, but the clock is moving here. Miller out of the shotgun. Uliano to his left. They'll give it to Uliano. He'll run to the right. Patiently waiting a hole. Gets to the 5-yard line, and he's brought down there. The tackle made by Hunter Dean.
Port Jervis's defense got to tighten things up. We mentioned the balanced offensive attack for Rye. That was their third running play matched up with 2 passing plays. So Rye knows how to keep this Port Jervis defense on his heels. Port Jervis is going to have to make a big play here. And boy, they're going to really want to see what Rye's going to do here. They're kind of lulling him in to think that Uliano's going to carry the ball.
Well,
you got to watch Miller in the arm.
And you got to watch Archer Fenton. He's in the flat. They'll give it to Uliano. He'll run right, has a hole. Uliano to the corner. Touchdown, Rye. Chris Uliano goes 5 yards, 4 yards in for the score, and it is 6-0 Rye with 9:10 to go in the Masters Pest Control first quarter. A methodical drive for the Garnets to get on the board first.
Yeah, no doubt about it on that run. Uliano just cuts to the right side, stretched out to the edge of the defense. Port Jervis' defense could not converge, and it's 6-0 Rye.
They will try the extra point here. The kick is up, and it is good. So with 9:10 to play in the first quarter, it is Rye 7, Port Jervis nothing. We're back in 30 seconds with more Raider football here on WDLC Port Jervis, presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
Who are you going to believe? The business who paid for this ad or the customers who paid for their product? Because this is what people say about Masters Pest Control.
We have been customers for years and are always impressed with the level of fast service and quality care received. A+++ team. Can't recommend them enough. I called regarding a very active hornet's nest in the yard, and they took care of it within 30 minutes. Truly appreciate this company and their amazing staff.
Call Masters Pest Control today to receive quality service.
You're listening to Port Jervis football only on WDLC Country.
Well, Rye has struck first, a 52-yard drive. Taking a look at the Buc-ee's Taxi drive summary. 6 plays, 52 yards, 2 minutes and 50 seconds in time of possession. A 4-yard touchdown run by the junior Chris Uliano. Extra point was good, and it is 7-0 Garnets. The opening attempt at something of an onside kick failed for Port Jervis. It set Rye up with great field position, and the Garnets went right down the field on Port. And so now we'll see Port receiving a kick. And it's a line drive kick that's going to be taken at the 24-yard line, to the 30, to the 35-yard line. Coming to the near side of the field, this is Elijah Campbell, brought down to the open field at the 35-yard line. And Port Jervis's offense will take over, and we'll see them for the first time this afternoon. And they are trailing early here, down 7-0 to Rye, as we approach exactly 9 minutes to play in the Masters Pest Control first quarter.
First quarter under action here, Kevin. Big shout out to all of our friends and family out there in the woods. There's some guys texting me from tree blinds up on tops of mountains, all out there hunting. Hunt safe, guys, and enjoy listening to us bring you some Raider football.
Dylan Fox out of the shotgun for the Raiders. Port will work right to left, down 7-0 at their own 35-yard line. Handoff goes to Theodore. Theodore bounces outside, lowers his shoulder, and he gets to the 39-yard line. Anthony Theodore gets the first tote of the day as he is approaching 1,000 yards rushing on the season. They're going to give him the 38. Tough spot. It's a tough spot for Theodore. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Raiders.
Theodore comes into the game 931 yards on the ground. He's the go-to back. Got chipped up last week. We have to see how his hip has responded to healing up over the week.
He's the lone man in the backfield to the left of Fox on 2nd down, and Fox is going to keep it himself. He'll roll to the left. He gets across the 40. Dylan Fox to the 45-yard line, and a Port Jervis first down. All right, E, I think we may be in the same spot we were in last week here. Ethan McElroy joining us on the broadcast today as the Raiders have a first down.
Yeah, pick up a
get you going here.
7 for 7 on that carry as Fox carries the ball to the first down. 1st and 10 Raiders, ball at their own 45-yard line. Nice run by the sophomore quarterback.
There we go. I think I can hear myself now. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Today is going to be real big for these blockers, these Port Jervis blockers. They're going to need to get a
Fox
hand
going to
down.
pitch it deep to Theodore. Theodore across the 45, across midfield, and into Rye territory to the Garnet 48-yard line. A sweep to the far side of the field sets the Raiders up with a 2nd and short.
Yeah, like that right there. I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Port is going to have to send at least 2 or 3 guys ahead of Anthony, Maddox, whoever's running the football, just because these Rye kids are so big. They can these D linemen, they take up like 2 of Port's D linemen, one of them do. So it's very hard for Port. They're gonna have to just load up that heavy side, like that play Dylan just had. They loaded up the right side and then went back left. It's smart. Great play calling by Coach Salato.
6-yard pickup for the Raiders to the 49. Handoff goes to Dolshin. Straight up the middle. Carroll to the 35 or to the 45 and down to the 42-yard line, and a Raider first down.
Did his little signature hop.
Yes, he did.
And it was not good for him, I don't think.
Someone's coming up slow on the ground.
Is it Dolshin?
It's him.
Of course, he was coming in. We mentioned Theodore with some injuries. Dolshin had that lower ankle sprain, that right ankle sprain, and his hop, he may have come down hard on that. And that is exactly the situation, as he's come down hard on his right ankle. That has been the concern all week in practice for Coach Straharski and the team. And Dolshin is this is a tough kid, and he is definitely in some significant discomfort right now.
By the way, just want to give a shout out to Gus Lawson and George St. Lawrence. Gus is the public address announcer here at Goshen. George St. Lawrence is the athletic director. They are world-class, incredible hosts here in Goshen as Dolshin makes his way towards the home sideline, the sideline closest to us. Port Jervis has the football. They're down 7-0 with 7:14 to play in the Masters Pest Control first quarter. They're going right to left here. They'll snap it from the far side hash mark at the Rye 42-yard line with a first down and down by a score. So into the backfield for the Raiders is Ryan Ross. Dylan Fox is the sophomore quarterback. Now Anthony Theodore goes in motion. Theodore gets it. Theodore comes to the near side, turns around and is wrapped up and brought down. A nice tackle made by Amir White for Rye, and a very short gain, if any gain.
That's going to be a loss on the play. They're going to move him back a yard.
Definitely a loss.
Yeah, unfortunately for Port Jervis on that play, the speed sweep has worked for them against other teams. This Rye team, both offense, defense, and throw in the specials, these guys are all very athletic. They are tall, they're lean. These are all athletic young football players. And for Port Jervis, your speed has to be a notch above what you played at last week.
Raiders go offset eye on 2nd down, and it's going to be a play-action pass. Fox is going to throw, and it's incomplete, batted down. And it'll be 3rd and long for the Raiders. I didn't see anybody really out there for Dylan to go to. Who was that intended target?
I think he was looking at Maddox. Yeah, he was looking at Maddox on that play.
I'll give a shout out to Austin Carroll, former coach here at Port Jervis for both football and baseball. It is a 3rd down and 11 facing Port from their own 43. This was a critical piece of the game plan for the Raiders. They have to finish a drive. This is not a good spot for things to stall out. They're down 7-0 with 6:23 to play in the first quarter. They'll go with a twin backfield, back to each side of sophomore quarterback Dylan Fox. He's out of the shotgun from the near side hash mark. High snap, will throw again. Pressure coming. Fox rolls to the right. He unloads it. He's got a man wide open. It's caught by Anthony Theodore at the 26-yard line. And it's a first down for the Raiders.
I don't know how you let that kid get that open. He's the number 1 player on this Port Jervis offense, and there was not a guy within 10 yards of him right there.
It's a 17-yard pickup for the Raiders and a critical first down. It's 7-0 Rye with 6:13 to play in the first quarter.
Lucas Fleshman, I believe, was the number 32. He was in charge of covering Theodore, and there was that was a matchup Port would go to day in and day out. That was a great play by the Raiders.
First down, Port at the Rye 26. From the far side hash mark, Port will snap it, going right to left, down 7-0. Fox out of the shotgun, Theodore in motion. Fox will keep it. Dylan goes up the middle, looking for a hole, and it quickly evaporates. Dylan's still working.
He's still going.
Oh, my goodness, he's down at the 22-yard line. As tough a run as we've seen from Dylan Fox this season.
Sandbag comes out by the ref side judge as the ball popped loose, but that was after Fox had fallen to the ground. Not after he found himself a few extra yards on that play. How about this?
Give him the
all
21.
the way to the 21, a pickup of 5.
By himself, too. I don't know if you guys saw, but half the Port Jervis offensive line was just standing around on that play, and it was just Dylan Fox moving his legs.
Through his eyes, folks. All right, we'll go with a 2nd and 5 for the Raiders. Ross in the backfield to the right of Dylan Fox. They'll snap it from, again, the far side hash mark at the Rye 21. 7-0 Rye. 5:11 to go on a running clock in the Masters Pest Control first quarter. Fox will throw. Pump fakes. Now he's going to run. He's wrapped up. He's still going. And he's going to be brought down, a loss on the play. But Fox was able to try to get outside, just wasn't able to do anything with it. So it'll be 3rd down now.
He sold the play fake very well. Fox made it pump fake to the left. Bit the secondary bit on it, but the inside linebackers were staying at home on that play. Fox taken down for the loss.
4:44, clock rolling, first quarter, 7-0 Rye. Port facing a 3rd down and 6 at the Rye 22-yard line. They are 1 for 1 on 3rd downs on this drive. They really need to convert here. Fox in the backfield, Theodore to his left. Fox going to roll left rather. He pops it out, and it's incomplete. Theodore caught it. He's going to lose yardage. An incredibly athletic catch by Anthony Theodore. Fox was in the grasp of a defender when he released that football, but it's going to end up being a negative play for Port. Anthony might have been better just to slap it to the turf. They'll lose 2 more, and it will be a 4th down and 8 for Port at the Rye 24-yard line.
Now it's go for it time for the Raiders, down 7-0 here. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. And with Goshen on the sidelines getting taped up, someone's got to step up big.
4th down for the Raiders at the Rye 24. They need 8. Fox is going to throw. He's in trouble. He's in big trouble, and he's sacked.
Come on.
He's sacked at the 38-yard line.
Come on.
And the sack was made by Joan Turlo, and Port Jervis will turn it over on downs. A huge loss at that.
That was a lackadaisical play by that Port Jervis offensive line right there. They held their block for a second and then let him go. Dylan had pressure automatically. That's just
one of the things
bad
that
offense.
We got to focus on that offensive line is coming into the game. Chris Hicks, the senior tackle, 6'1", 210. He's been dealing with a upper body injury for the last 3 weeks. He's that left side tackle, and on that play, he just got a little bit overpowered, and it's a turnover and downs now for Port Jervis. Rye gets the ball 1st and 10 at their own 37.
3:43 to play, first quarter, 7-0 Rye. Left to right go the Garnets. They'll hand it off to Uliano. He'll run left. He has a big hole. He's to the 45-yard line. A first down at the 48. It's a first down for Rye, and they are having no trouble getting to the second level of the Port Jervis defense.
Well, we knew going in that this offense for Rye was very powerful and very strong. That time, Luliano with a dozen on the carry. Man, and he's going to play lacrosse in college. Lacrosse.
Yeah. Football's not his best sport. That's pretty terrifying.
And he still has another year left.
Yes.
In the high school level, so that's a special athlete out there.
It is Hess and Stevens split to the near side for Rye. First down, Garnets at their own 49-yard line. They go left to right, 3:13 to go. They'll give it to Uliano again. He'll run left. He's got another hole inside Raider territory, down to the Port 45.
Port Jervis has to get out of a 4-man front if they're going to try to even stop this offensive line. I mean, they're overpowering you. They're twice the size of almost all your players. You have to put more men in that box. If you don't have more men in the box, you are not going to win the line of scrimmage.
And here's the problem with that, E, is you got 3 guys right now on the sidelines. You got Goshen, who's getting his right ankle taped up, and you got Chris Hicks, number 50, both unable to play both sides of the ball. And that is a huge deficit for the Raiders.
That's just a bunch of baloney in my eyes. I mean, this is the game of all games right here. You play no matter what.
Uliano running left has the first down. He's brought down to the 39-yard line. It'll be a first down for Rye, and they are basically able to do as they please on offense on their first 2 possessions. 2:25 to go in the Masters Pest Control first quarter. It's 7-0 Rye, and the Garnets have a first down at the Port Jervis 39-yard line. They go left to right here in the first quarter, and they'll snap from the far side hash mark.
Port Jervis looks dead. They look dead.
That's a little early for that.
They don't. Look, I mean, look at their energy though, Kev. I mean, these kids are not pumped up. Their linebackers aren't like moving around.
Miller's going to throw to the near sideline, incomplete. A miscommunication as his receiver, Jack Akivati, was not quite ready for that.
Thank goodness, because he was wide open. I mean, he had a 10-yard cushion from that corner. That 10, 15-yard cushion that Port gives every single wide receiver does not make sense. It plays just like that. If that quarterback hits that ball, he's going to be able to throw that pass all day. Every single play, basically, because they're playing 15 yards off. You have to realize you can't play 15 yards off.
2nd and 9 for the Garnets at the Port 39. Miller going to throw again. Straight drop back. Plenty of time. Throws deep down the near sideline as a man wide open.
Yep, that's what happened.
For the first down in the 5. Touchdown, Garnets.
Port Jervis deserves that touchdown.
Jake Kessner caught that. It is a 39-yard touchdown pass to a wide open Jake Kessner, and it is 13-0 Rye with 1:50 to go here in the first quarter. The extra point is pending. What did they say? Go out of bounds?
No way. They did.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. They said he stepped out at the 5. That is a huge break for Port Jervis.
And all that was right there was just a simple tight end wheel. That's all it was. They took both the wide receivers, sent them deep, trying to get the corners and linebackers confused and make that tight end get lined up on a linebacker. And that's what happens. Port drops their corner 40 yards back, so then that leaves that little zone right there wide open.
1st and goal at the 5. They stop the play before it can start. It's a timeout for Port Jervis. We'll take one with them. $1:49 to play in the Masters Pest Control first quarter. Rye 7, Port nothing. The Garnets are knocking on the door again, and we're back with more after this. You're listening to live coverage of Port Jervis High School football here on WDLC Country, presented by ADAC.
You got some projects planned for your house?
Oh, yeah.
You got time to do them? Yeah. You need to call Brace Landscaping. They do all kinds of landscaping and property maintenance, masonry work, fence installs, and more. This winter, they'll be offering snow removal, too. Don't put off those projects. Just hire a pro. Call Brace Landscaping, 845-253-4440. Find them on Facebook at Brace Landscaping.
Let's get back to Port Jervis football right here on WDLC Country.
We're back here at Goshen. It is 7-0 Rye, 1:49 to play in the Masters Pest Control first quarter. The Garnets have the football with a 1st and goal at the Port Jervis 5-yard line after a 34-yard completion from senior A.J. Miller to junior Jack Kessner. Officials ruled that he went out of bounds at the 5, so that's where Rye has the football. And they're trying to add to a 7-0 lead. Port Jervis's defense reeling at the moment. Miller out of the shotgun. Uliano to his right. Everybody else is up front. Here's the snap. Handoff Uliano. He runs left, and a great tackle in the backfield by Dorian Belize. Nice job by the senior Belize, and it's 2nd and goal for Rye.
And there's a perfect situation where someone's got to step up on the play. Belize, he suffered an injury midweek during practice as well, and he's out there getting it done there. Nice play, nice tackle.
He actually lost a yard,
yeah,
so
how about
2nd and goal now from the 6 of Port Jervis. 1:22 to go, clock rolling, first quarter, 7-0 Rye. New York State Class B quarterfinal game between the Section 1 champs out of Rye and the Section 9 champs out of Port Jervis. And Miller will throw. He throws to the left side, wide open, touchdown Rye. Wide open receiver, Charlie Stevens, the senior. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass, and it now is 13-0 Rye with 1:06 to play here in this first quarter.
Well, they called they called the big play out of bounds at the 5-yard line. And, Rye is a very balanced team when it comes to throwing the ball in the air as well as scoring touchdowns in the air. That time, nice pass play, wide open in the corner. Oh, and a bad snap on the PAT.
So they won't convert the point after. It remains 13-0 with 1:06 to go in the first quarter. We will keep it here. Our Buc-ee's Taxi drive summary shows the Garnets going 63 yards on 7 plays, 2 minutes and 37 seconds in time of possession. A 6-yard touchdown pass from A.J. Miller to Charlie Stevens, and it is 13-0 after the extra point failed.
Stevens comes into the game. He's their leading touchdown receiver. He had 5 in the regular season, so that give him a 6th on that. I got to tell you one thing. This Rye team, they said they were good. These guys are pretty good.
They're pretty good. They've had 2 possessions. They've had 2 touchdowns. Port Jervis's first possession ended in a turnover on downs. That's what set up Rye with the ball at their own 37-yard line. They've had good field position on both of their drives, but the efficiency of their offense has been absolutely incredible to watch so far in the game. 1:06 to play in the first quarter, and it's 13-0. The Raiders find themselves behind by 2 scores early here and needing a strong offensive drive and a touchdown to get this thing going. We have an out-of-town scoreboard update from Middletown, where the Middletown Midi Bears and Christian Brothers Academy tied at 7 late first quarter there. Ensuing kickoff by Rye here in Goshen goes over Theodore's head, but he grabs it, takes it across the 20-yard line to the 25, Theodore to the 30, and he's brought down. No, he's still going. Jaron Rodriguez on the return for the Raiders, takes it to the 33-yard line, and that is where Port Jervis will take over. 56 seconds to play in the Masters Pest Control first quarter, 13-0 in favor of Rye, and the Raiders will start with the ball at their own 37-yard line.
All right, so Raiders got to get something going here. Kev, you mentioned their first series. They had some successes, a couple of shortcomings there as well. They got to string together some more plays and get themselves into the end zone. Got to fight back, fellas.
All right, first down Port. Fox out of the shotgun, flanked by a pair of backs, 2 receivers wide. Handoff Theodore, runs right. Now sprints out to the far sideline, to the 35-yard line. Theodore to the 39, and he's taken out of bounds on the far side of the field. So it'll be a long way for Anthony to run for short gain. I'm sorry, I had this drive set up at the 37. It was at the 33-yard line. So that's a better run for Theodore as he gets 6 and a 2nd and 4 coming up for Port Jervis's offense. They were able to keep the offense on the field for a long time on their first drive, but they couldn't finish it. Ended up with no points, turning it over on downs. And here we go. We're inside of 25 seconds to play in the first quarter. 3 receivers to the near side. Port will snap it at their own 39-yard line from the far side hash mark. Fox out of the shotgun, takes a helmet high snap and will run it himself. He runs right up the middle, and he's turned away at the line of scrimmage. A little extracurricular activity there. The officials waiting a long time to blow the whistles, and it'll be a third down. They're going to give him forward progress to the 42-yard line. That's a gain of 3 for Dylan Fox, and it brings our first quarter to a close. It's Rye 13, Jervis nothing. We're back in 60 seconds with the second quarter of the state quarterfinals here on WDLC Country, presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
The Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County is a nonprofit organization dedicated to addressing the use of alcohol and other drugs by providing prevention education at schools and in the community. ADAC offers support services for individuals and families experiencing the negative effects of substance use. Substance use disorder knows no barriers. It could impact anyone, but it can be prevented through community support, education, and communication. If you or someone you know needs help, please reach out. Learn more by visiting adacinfo.com.
After 9 years as an assistant district attorney, Matt Witherow returned to his hometown to serve the community he grew up in. Now located at 150 East Main Street, Matt Witherow is licensed in New York and Pennsylvania to help you navigate legal matters including real estate transactions, personal injury, wills, traffic matters, and foreclosure assistance. Count on the law office of Matthew D. Witherow to guide you like a neighbor would. Call for a free consultation, 856-5900 for the law office of Matthew D. Witherow. Online at port-jervis.com.
Yard by yard, Raiders football is live on WDLC Country.
All right, we're back here for the start of the second quarter here at the Coliseum in Goshen, where Port Jervis, facing a 3rd and 1, went for the option play to Anthony Theodore. He lost 2 yards on the play, actually 3, the 3 that Dylan Fox gained. So it's a 4th and 4 for Port Jervis at their own 39-yard line. And so the option fails, and the Raiders are likely in a punt situation here. Want to give a quick shout-out to Natalie Halpenny and Mackenzie Watch. They're listening following their PJYFL cheer banquet that happened this morning, their brunch banquet. Girls, I hope you're having a good time. I don't know if I should assume that Kendall's not with you anymore, but she was there this morning. Anyhow, Raiders are down by a score of 13-0, and they're going for it on 4th and 4 from their own 39-yard line. I see. Yeah, my bad. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to get you excited, but looks like we have a flag before this play starts. They run out of time. Oh, the Raiders, a delay of game. That's a deadly penalty in this spot because you're going to give 5 yards potentially in field position. So, folks, sorry I got you all excited about the Raiders going for it on 4th down. They're punting, and they're going to have to punt from 5 yards further back as they're going to move them back to their own 34-yard line.
You've been in this situation. Team's down just a little bit here. Maybe they're kind of looking to the left, to the right. What do you say on the sidelines to get you guys all up and ready to rock?
You're down 13-0 right now. I mean, the captain should be on these kids right now. I mean, it's no one else. I don't even care. Like, the coaches need to keep their mouths shut and let these players play.
Dolshin's
and
punt
players coach.
It's going to be fumbled. The ball's loose on the ground. The ball's loose. The Raiders say they have it, and they do. The Raiders recover the fumbled punt.
Good job.
TJ Fergus picks it away off the turf, and Port gets the ball at the Rye 33-yard line. The Raiders needed a break, and they got one.
Yeah, I mean, that right there it's the turning point of this game. Port has to go score. If Port doesn't score here, the entire first half, all of the momentum, all of this is gone if Port doesn't score on this drive. They need to come together as a team and play some football.
1st and 10, Port from the Rye 34. They'll snap between the hash marks. Left to right they go, down 13-0. Fox out of the shotgun. Theodore in motion. It'll be a pass play. Fox is rushed. He's in trouble, and he fumbles the ball. He gets on top of it, but he's brought down to the 48-yard line. It is very clear here that the Raiders have to find an answer for pass protection.
All I know is if we can see up here that they are sending people on the edge every play, they have to see it down on the field. You have to see you're not going to be able to roll out and run these like extravagant plays that you try to dial up, your Madden plays. They're not going to work. You have to go back to your simple up the gut, end around, up the gut. Like, you got to stay simple because you're down 13-0. You can't try to bring out all the crazy stuff when you're down. You can't.
And they lost 13 yards on that play. And it'll be 2nd and very long. Theodore with the carry, looking for some blocking. Theodore cuts it up inside the 45 back to about the 42-yard line, so he'll get some back.
They're making that play take way too long to develop. Theodore should not be running 30 yards left. He should be trying to get upfield. You're already back about 25 yards right now. You have to get north and south. You cannot run east and west. It's not going to work.
And Rye is doing a good job of stringing that out and cutting the seams down. So Theodore's looking at that, and he can't see a little seam to get through. Last week and the weeks before, those seams were wide open. Now today, not much opened out there.
Because now they're playing an actual football team. They're playing a good football team that knows what they're doing.
3rd and 18 for Port. They'll snap from the far side hash mark. Fox out of the shotgun. Actually, it's Theodore. Theodore's going to pass. Anthony loads up, passes for Rodriguez, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by Rye. Jack Akiavati steps in front of it, and he's going to be still on his feet across the 20 to the 27-yard line, and a late flag. A late flag on the play. So the Raiders, after getting the muff punt, they throw an interception on the 3rd and long play. Rye's going to have the ball back at their own about 28-yard line, and then we'll see what the outcome of the penalty is. It's 13-0 Rye.
Blocking the back.
8:48 to go, 2nd quarter.
They're blocking the back, on that play?
Blocking the back, but, I mean, that's a pass interference down here. I understand that ball's kind of almost hard for Jaron to catch, but that kid's still right in his way to catch that football. Like, that's still a pass interference.
All right, we'll see what the outcome here is as far as the yardage marked off against Rye. But the big thing is the Raiders got a break and could not capitalize. They turn it back over to Rye. 8:48 to go in the 2nd quarter. It's 13-0 Garnets. They'll be pushed back to their own 17 to start this possession. The Raiders had an opportunity, and they could not capitalize. Right to left goes Rye here in the 2nd quarter. A.J. Miller, their quarterback, will work out of the shotgun.
All right, now we got 5 down linemen. Here we go. Now you actually have the offensive line. It's built, like it's together. Like you're not... This is what you should be in the entire game.
Uliano behind Miller. Uliano gets the carry. He slips the first would-be tackler. He's to the edge. He's across the 20, and he's ridden out of bounds on the far side by the hobbled Carroll Dolshin.
Ryan Ross had him stopped for a gain of like 1.5 maybe, and he just couldn't hold on.
And good footwork from Uliano. And as you mentioned, Kevin, it was Dolshin with a limp on the tackle. Out of bounds there.
Well, he's certainly not lacking for effort today. It's 5 yards for Uliano, 2nd and 5 coming up for Rye at their own 22-yard line. It's 13-0 Garnets, 8:17 to go. Clock moving here in the 2nd quarter. Rye has the football on the far side hash mark at their own 22. They work right to left in the road whites. They are the champions of Section 1 and Class B. Last year, they finished runner-up in Class A in Section 1, losing to eventual state champ Somers. And here they are in Class B with a victory over Pleasantville last week, looking to get to the state semifinals, and Port Jervis trying to stop them. And here's a delayed handoff to Uliano. Has some room, gets to the second level, gets to the 30, and a first down for Rye.
Like, this Port Jervis D-line is getting blown back, man. They're not even causing any pressure or
that
anything.
trap play, you got to dip that shoulder.
Yeah.
If you see a guy in front of you and all of a sudden he's gone, you have to know coming down the line is that guy coming to trap me.
All right.
And what did the defensive lineman do? He stepped into the play. Uliano runs right behind him untouched.
I'll show you guys. There's a literal drill that Coach John Stellato goes over at practice. Has one guy right here standing head up against another guy, and then he goes to pull. That defensive tackle has to come down, take on the pull, like you just did, Tommy, with the rip, take on the pull, and be there for that ball.
Miller's throwing on first down into the flats. It's caught at the 25-yard line. Ryan Ross makes
tackle,
the tackle.
Ryan Ross. Beautiful tackle.
Tucker Hess with the reception for the Garnets. Ryan Ross with the tackle for Port Jervis, and it'll be a loss of yardage on the play back to the 25.
I think that might have even been tipped.
At the line?
Yeah, I think it was either Roberts or Dolshin who got their hand up. Looked like it might have been tipped, but talk about Ross. What a nice tackle.
Yeah, that was a beautiful open field tackle. I mean,
Raiders are going to need that defense here. 6:50 and counting in the second quarter. 13-0 Rye. Garnets with the football at their own 25-yard line.
I don't like this. This is trips on the left side, and they have two.
Miller pressured. Miller steps up. He's hit as he throws. Ball's in the air, and it's caught. And off to the races. 30, 25, 20, 15, and tackled by Josiah Welch is Jack Akiavati.
Oh, you got to turn around, man. You got to turn around. That ball was in the air for like 6 seconds. You have to turn around.
Oh, for the Port Jervis defense, you mentioned turnaround, E. They were spun around on that play. And Akiavati with the catch, he was yards ahead of the defensive back. Huge play for Rye.
Like, you see,
they'll get the ball.
63 yards, fellas. That is a backbreaker.
Like, as a DB, you have to see that wide receiver's eyes start to widen and widen and widen as that ball's coming in. You have to know when to turn around.
And now they go back to the big front.
How about the poise from Miller to quarterback?
Ramachandran is in the backfield for Rye now. First down at the Port Jervis 12-yard line. Miller will take the snap out of the shotgun. He'll give it to Ramachandran. He'll slip on the turf and fall down. He'll lose a yard probably as we approach the midway point of the second quarter. Coming up at halftime, we have a conversation with seniors Noah Sotelo and Richard Olina. And it looks like they're going to actually have him lose two to the Port 14-yard line. But, I mean, you nailed it, and it's unfortunate for Port's defense, but they had played well through the first couple plays on that possession, and then a 63-yard pass play that probably didn't need to happen because Miller was heavily pressured, but he was able to find the receiver and beat the defense. 2nd and 12 for Rye. And Miller's going to throw, but a whistle will stop this play. 5:30 to go. Clock will stop on the penalty. Rye 13, Port Jervis nothing. And there's a penalty against the Garnets.
Their first of the game.
So Port has forced a turnover. Rye has made a couple of mistakes penalty-wise, but so far, Port hasn't been able to capitalize on those Rye mistakes, and probably more importantly, they haven't been able to stop Rye.
And they can't get anything started on offense.
And that also is something to take note of.
It's just a list of things Port is just not doing right now, and it's not looking good for them going into this second half.
2nd and 17 for Rye at the Port 19-yard line. Miller in the shotgun, trips to the far side. A single receiver lined up to the near side of the field. Miller looking to throw here. Rolling right, looking right. Throwing to that far corner, and it's going to be incomplete. The coverage provided by Jaron Rodriguez, the intended target, was Tucker Hess, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was beautiful. I don't know if you guys actually see what Jaron
I'll tell you right now that
did.
I don't, Eve. Go ahead.
Like the way he was playing, he was running like not fully like towards the player, but he's running almost sideways, and then he flipped his hips right at that last second to actually make a break on that ball. I thought he was going to pick it off. That's why I got silent. I thought he was going to pick it off. I was about to praise this man for that read. That read was beautiful.
5:05 to play, second quarter. 13-0 Rye. Garnets with the football at the Port 19. Near side hash mark going right to left.
This is what they have to do. They have to put 3.
Again, they throw into the flats on the far side. It's caught. It's going to be a gain to the 10-yard line. It's Hess again. What do you got, E? I'm sorry, I interrupted
Port
your point here.
has to put 3 of their DBs on the wide receivers. They can't have a linebacker on any one of these wide receivers. It's not going to work. You don't have the skill at that left outside linebacker position to be able to cover wide receivers.
Oh, here you go. It's 13-0 Rye. 4 minutes, 30 seconds left in his first half.
Fourth down.
Fourth down at the Port Jervis 9. Yeah, this is go-for-it territory if you're Rye.
They're not even thinking about kicking it. A.J. Miller out there. The man in the backfield is Charlie Garnett.
There we go.
Aptly aimed. Miller's going to throw. Flag down.
False start, number 13.
Good call, E. There's a little bit of motion. Rye broke the huddle quickly to try to get Port on their heels. But then Rye was on their toes a little too much. Second procedure in the last 3 plays. And that's huge for Rye because that changes everything now. They're going to come out and try to kick a field goal.
It looked like they were setting up a little PA crossers. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but that's just like a fake handoff, and all your wide receivers come across the middle.
Speaking of fake, you think they try something here?
They had a leg in the warm-ups here. And that
Henry Shoemaker, a call-up from JV, a 10th grader,
That's awesome.
And this kid can kick. He's going to try it from what would be 31 yards out.
I mean, you know he's good. He's wearing number 80 as a kicker.
From the far side hash mark, the kick is up, and it is no good wide left.
That's big for Port right there. That's big for Port.
It is a huge break for the Raiders.
Port needs to go into the second half down by 1 score. They need to control this clock for the next 4 minutes, play smart football. Stop going into your bag of tricks. Like I said, for the past how many weeks we've been doing this? The coaches have a set of 10 plays before they come into a game that they know they're going to run. Run those 10 plays and just run those. Don't run anything else because nothing else is working for you. You tried to put Anthony back there to throw the ball, and what'd he do? He threw a pick. So you have to be smarter. You have to simplify your offense and just let the kids play. Let the kids ball.
1st and 10 Raiders at their own 21-yard line. Left to right they go. Between the hash marks they snap, and they're going to hand it off to Dolshin. Dolshin will run left, right into the line, still powering towards the 23-yard line, and an excellent effort by junior Carroll Dolshin to pick up 2 very tough yards.
But that's bad, though, because it was just Carroll pushing. His offensive line wasn't helping him push, and that's why he was stood up like that.
And everyone holds their breath now as he breaks the huddle. Or breaks the tackle, make sure that his ankle, as much as we've seen him limp, he goes back to the huddle.
Where's this football? It's 2 yards from 23.
Jeez, 23. A pickup of 3 on the play.
Pick up a 2, Tommy.
Check that, my bad. How about let's reset those chains there, chain crew?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, actually, Tommy, you're absolutely right. That was a pickup of 3. It's a 2nd and 7. All right, Dolshin's the only man in the backfield right now to the right of Dylan Fox. Raiders down 13-0 with 3:12 to go. High snap. Fox is going to take it himself, looking for a hole. Dylan goes up the middle. He's met there and brought down. And what success they've had running Dylan Fox up the middle against the Section 9 Class B opponents, that's not happening today. A much more physical and athletic defensive line here with Rye.
Well, you know, one thing that Rye's doing defensively at the line of scrimmage, they're just holding the line. They're not getting in the backfield. They're going to say, we'll hold fast at the line of scrimmage. We won't let Port Jervis get through the line of scrimmage. And that's exactly what happened to Fox on that play. Got to the line of scrimmage and was met by the Garnets. And a no gain. What do we got? Yeah, well,
I'll give him
1.
3rd and 6 to the 24-yard line.
The only big play I've seen from Port was that misdirection run where they loaded that entire right side and they ran left. I don't know why they're not doing that.
And the muffed punt fumble recovery was the big play so far.
Fox out of the shotgun, rolling right. Here comes the pressure. Dylan unloads, and it's caught by Anthony Theodore for a first down at the 33-yard line. What an athletic effort by the junior Anthony Theodore.
What a throw.
It was a first down. It was a good throw. He threw it where only Anthony could catch it.
Yeah, and I mean, just Dylan being the size he is, and having to throw over Carroll Dolshin, it's so hard, and it makes it so much better when he completes a pass. Because this kid is 5'8". Like he's not the same size as anyone else on this team.
2:10 left, second quarter. 13-0 Rye. Fox out of the shotgun, near side hash mark. Dylan will take it himself. Has a hole up the middle. He's across the 35, and he's wrestled down there. That hole quickly was filled up by a stud on defense that has really had a great game, Joe Interlo. And it is going to be 2nd and long for the Raiders.
Well, the other thing you see on that play right there is that Fox didn't do that step back, didn't make it look like a pass play. That was a run straight up. Nice blocks at the line of scrimmage, led by number 70 for the Raiders, and that's Hunter Dean.
2nd and 6, Port from their own 36-yard line. Left to right, they go down 13-0. Fox to throw quickly across the middle. Theodore has it inside right territory to the Garnet 46-yard line. Beautiful execution, and it's a first down for the Raiders in enemy territory.
Simple play. Talk about it.
Yeah, it was a simple little RPO, and that's what Port Jervis's offense is based off of, is RPOs and trying to catch a defense on their heels. And that right there, Anthony got the beat on the inside on that corner, and he got that.
And now Port's working quickly here.
They should be.
Out of the shotgun goes Fox. 123. Fox going to run. Huge hole on the right side. Now he comes up the middle. Dylan to the 41-yard line of Rye.
Now you call your timeout, Stellato.
7-yard pickup for Dylan. Witherell Law out-of-town scoreboard. Update, Middletown has taken a 14-7 lead over CBA at Fowler Field in the Class AA quarterfinals. Here at Goshen, 13-0 Rye. Raiders break the huddle quickly at the Rye 41.
See, this is what they got to do. They got to load this left side.
Fox going to throw out of the shotgun. He's in trouble, and he's going to be sacked.
You needed to take the timeout there. You should have taken the timeout.
He'll lose 4.
Now they're going to take it. Yeah, it's just you take this timeout now after that. A loss of 4, it's not good.
There's 2 types of timeout. There's a timeout when you get set to do more. Then there's a timeout that you have to take to preserve what is left.
Yeah.
This is the second timeout. This is the timeout you're taking because play just failed. You got to stop the clock. 51 seconds left here in this first half. Port Jervis is trailing 13-0. We're looking at a third and a little bit here now at about the Rye 44-yard line. So if you're Port Jervis, you have to take the opportunity to mold both of those timeouts together. The timeout you normally want to take as opposed to the timeout you have to take. You had to take this, so now take it to your advantage and say, okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. We are going to get a first down on this play, and when we do, we're going to do this next. Have to play with that confidence in that huddle because the kids need to believe it.
I understand why Stellato didn't call the timeout. Sorry, Gav, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Saying I understand why he didn't call the timeout because it was 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3. So, I mean, if you're running the hurry up, I mean, with the way they've been running down the field for the past 30 seconds, yes, it makes sense why they would go for that, but as a list, like from up here, you can always say whatever you want, but I mean, up here, you should have called that. It looks like you should have called that timeout just to slow it down a little bit.
It's 3rd and 7 for Port. They're snapping in between the hash marks at the Rye 44-yard line. Dylan Fox will work out of the shotgun. It's an empty backfield as Dolshin is split out wide to the far side with Josiah Welch, Theodore, Rodriguez, and McCormick on the near side. Pass play. Here's the pressure. It's a bubble screen, and it's incomplete for Maddox McCormick, and the clock will stop with 46 seconds to play in the second quarter, and Rye holding a 13-0 lead. Port facing a 4th down.
Jump back in the time machine, fellas. Back in the day of the leather football helmets, back when my twin brother and I used to play football, there were teams all across Orange County. 3rd and long coming out of a timeout. You can almost bet on it. It's going to be the gut screen, the gut screen, the gut screen. And linebackers knew if that was a timeout on a 3rd down like that, you know the gut screen's coming, and you're like, I'm hungry for that.
I don't understand. Why are you running that gut screen?
Because sometimes it works.
7.
Because
sometimes.
All right, so 4th down, and the Raiders are going for it again.
No, they're going to punt, Kev. They're going to punt.
All right, how about you call 4th downs from now on, because I'm 0 for 2.
And Theodore's back to the punt. Watch the fake. No.
Yes, yeah. There's the fake. Theodore, he's going to be stopped.
That was not a good call. That's not a good call. Now you're giving them the ball back on the 45 with 40 seconds left and 3 timeouts.
Here's the thing. If you're going to fake that, you don't mess around. That snap goes to you, and you take off. What did Theodore do on that? He tried to read some of the angles and some of the avenues, and guess what? There were none.
Yeah, he tried to play it like a running back and not someone trying to get the first down. He tried to think of a way to create open space, but there was none.
No, he got back to the line of scrimmage, but he gave Rye 40 seconds left.
What I don't understand is Port has to see that Rye's defensive line they're animals.
They're throwing on 1st down. Miller steps into it, throws deep down the far sideline. Ball's in the air, and it's intercepted. Nope, it's incomplete. Rodriguez got his hand on it. Check that. Yeah, it was Jaron Rodriguez. The pass was intended for Hess downfield, and it is incomplete. 2nd down. Sorry, folks.
Jaron has such beautiful coverage. He was on that kid like a seatbelt. I mean, that was beautiful coverage, and he was watching that ball the entire time. Barely even needed to look at the receiver. He just watched the ball.
Want to give a shout out to Ray Torres, who just checked in. Thanks for listening, Ray. Port Jervis trailing Rye 13-0 with 33 seconds before halftime. Noah Sotelo and Richard Olino will join us at halftime here, as well as our first half stats and the Bavoso and Plotsky keys to the second half. Miller will throw again, and now he's blitzed and he's rushed to the outside. He's going to take it himself. He'll get across the 50-yard line, and he'll be hit hard, and they're going to throw a flag on Port for a late hit. That's a disastrous penalty against the Raiders. And then there's some late there's some late activity, and that's probably going to offset, and another flag comes out.
Well, I think now it's going to be 15 for Port. I think Port's going to get 15 yards here.
I think it's
We'll
going to
wait to
ultimately
see.
just be offsetting penalties. 24 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
My question is, there was an unsportsmanlike against number 56 on Rye because he pushed, what's his name, Hunter Dean over there.
Okay.
And then there was another one, the one kid came over and got in the face of
It was Juliano.
Ross. So can both those penalties, Ross's penalty is going to get the
Well, remember, here's the
negated.
other thing you have to remember. Ross's first penalty is during the action of the play.
Yeah.
Other penalty will be offset on the sideline, but then the additional flag was at the dead ball. So we'll see how it gets shook out. It may not be a neutralization here. There may be, as Ethan mentioned, they may march Rye back 15 at the end of all this, but not after they got the first down. So we'll have to see what they shake it out. The ball right now is sitting at the Port Jervis 45-yard line. So the referee is talking to...
What?
And they're going to move now.
That's
we'll see
weird.
what happens here. They're moving the ball downfield against Port Jervis's defense. Let's see if they turn around and move it back, but apparently not.
Oh my!
So none of those.
Wow.
What? None
So
of that
I-
offsets.
I think what they're going to say is, the only explanation I could imagine is Coach Damian Stryharski is trying to get one from the officials right now, is that the first two penalties offset and then the last one was on Port. That's the only explanation for why the ball's at the 30 right now, and that's a disaster for Port because there's 24 seconds left before halftime, and you're giving Rye's offense an incredibly short field here.
With how many timeouts? 2-3 timeouts, though?
It's a personal foul against Port.
They have 2 timeouts
Hold
left.
on, there's a personal foul against Rye. Those offset. And then there's a personal foul against Port after the play, I suppose.
So there you go.
I don't love how that went down.
That doesn't make sense, though, because they threw the flag right after that kid punched Dean.
Well,
so
right now, it is what it is. Rye's got the football at the 30, and the Port defense has to buck up.
It's 1st and 10 Rye at the Port Jervis 30, and I believe they have 2 timeouts in their pockets.
Port Jervis is really regretting going for that 4th down now.
Miller out of the shotgun. He steps back. He throws quickly into the flat. That's Acciavadio who catches it. He will be tackled by TJ Fergus inbounds at the 30. No gain on the play, and the clock should roll.
And they're going to call timeout now, Rye.
Yeah, they are.
So they have 1 left as they called a timeout earlier in the second quarter.
So I'll tell you what, we've talked a lot about some of the things that have not been going well for Port, right? They've turned it over. Questionable decision to go for it on the fake punt, and their offense has mostly struggled. Their defense has mostly struggled, but I will say, even though they're down 2 scores, you can kind of take a look back at this first half and say, hey, Port Jervis belongs in this game. They can hang with Rye. Rye is a really good team, but Port is proving that they belong. They need to execute a little bit better maybe. And I don't know if I'm simplifying it too much, but considering what we've seen happen, this game could be a lot more out of hand than it is at the moment.
There's a lot of people that make a lot of assumptions. Rye, as you mentioned, was Section 1 class runner-up, Class A last year. They're going back to A next year. So a lot of people this week, they're an A school. They're going to smoke us. They're going to beat us up, beat us down. Port Jervis right now looking at a 13-0 deficit. This game could well be out of hand if not for the fact that Port Jervis has shown up in little segments here and there to keep themselves in the game. Boy, you know what? They're looking for another football now for Rye. Port Jervis could really use right now. Boy, his
When's
Lady
the play
Luck
clock going to start?
and a little. Well, they get to reset. There was 2 footballs on
There
the
we
field.
go. Now it's starting. All right.
Port Jervis could really go for a nice turnover here. That would be as juicy as a delicious steak.
Empty backfield. Pressure coming on Miller. Rolls right, throws right. It's got a man wide open at the Port Jervis 16-yard line.
Like I said, Kev, you can do that all game against Port Jervis's corners. They play 15 yards back. That's just knowing your defense, knowing what you're going against.
Jack Acciavadio gets the first down and steps out of bounds to stop the clock with 10 seconds left. And now Rye has it at the Port 16, a 12-yard pickup and a first down for the Garnets as they're trying to go for what would be a tremendous momentum swinging touchdown here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, Port,
10 seconds.
Port may get the ball to start the second half, but Rye puts one in here now, and it's a different halftime for the Raiders.
For sure. Miller out of the shotgun again. Empty backfield. Trips to the near side. Miller rolls left. He's going to look to throw. He's in trouble. He steps up, throws to a wide open Hess, but he will be wrapped up and brought down, and time will expire.
2 left.
Oh, no, 2 seconds left, and Rye calls the timeout. Boy, they got their timeout pretty quickly. It doesn't always work out that way.
I would say, well, he was probably in that ref's year.
Oh,
right,
sure.
as soon as
Well, he
that
knows
ball-
if he's getting tackled in bounds, I want my timeout, right?
Right away,
You
yeah.
get that ahead of time. That's a veteran coach, 300 wins, 30-plus seasons. He knows what he's doing.
You sent me that, Kev, and I was like, oh, my gosh, are we playing against Bill Belichick?
Now they're trying for another field goal. They missed their first. This is Henry Shoemaker, the sophomore, who missed the 31-yard try. This one is going to be a 27-yard try, and it'll
Right
be
in the middle of
between
the
the
field,
hash
too.
marks. So Raiders are going to need some pressure here. 2 seconds left. Last play of the half is going to be a 27-yard field goal try by Rye. They're up 13-0, looking to make it 16-0. High snap. The kick is up, and this one is pretty.
I don't think it was
No,
good.
it's no good. It's wide left again. He pushed it left again.
Oh, that's big.
That's tremendous. So the Raiders will go to the break down 13-0. Rye leads this state Class B quarterfinal game 13-0. We'll send it back to the studio. I'm going to have to make some second half adjustments just like Port is. We've got a halftime interview with Noah Sotelo and Richard Olina coming up. And that is going to be right here on WDLC Country. Don't go anywhere. We've got more coverage of the state playoffs on WDLC Country. It's all presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
Adolescent use of nicotine, alcohol, or other drugs could have serious harmful effects and should not be considered just a rite of passage. If you are concerned your teen may be struggling with substance use, ADAC can help. Teen Intervene is a brief intervention for youth who may be experiencing negative consequences from vaping, drinking, or other drug use. Participants learn about the negative effects of substance use as well as healthy coping skills. This program is free to all youth age 12 to 19. Visit adacinfo.com to schedule an appointment.
Hey, do you need a ride? Dial 845-856-3544 for Bucky's Taxi. They serve the entire tri-state area with local and long-distance taxi service. Now, whether you just need a ride to work or maybe your family needs a lift to the airport, Bucky's Taxi can get you where you need to go. Bucky's Taxi takes great pride in their transportation service. That's why they keep their cars clean and their drivers safe. The next time you need to be somewhere, call Bucky's Taxi, 845-856-3544.
Neversink Lumber. We're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore at Neversink Lumber, 95 Jersey Avenue, Port Jervis, or online at neversinklumber.net.
Don't you just love a good dog day afternoon?
Oh, yeah. And today is this dog's day.
Sheena, who is that doggy in the window? Is that Bella?
Oh, my God. She's had some work done, and she looks 5 pounds lighter.
Maybe 3.
Star, she looks amazing. I heard she gets groomed at Millie's Pooch Parlor.
Lucky dog.
Millie's Pooch Parlor. Toenail clipping just $7 per dog. Open every day but Sunday at 92 Front Street in Port Jervis. Call 845-858-0608 and get noticed.
WDLC Port Jervis. This is Port Jervis High School football on WDLC Country.
Welcome back to our live coverage of Port Jervis State Playoff football. Yes, we're in the States again. 3 straight seasons for the Raiders, 4 times in the last 5. The only reason it's not 5 years in a row is because the 2020-2021 school year was impacted by the COVID pandemic, and the football team didn't play until the spring of 2021, and there were no state playoffs that year. 2019, they made it to the state semifinals. 21, 22, and 23 now into the regionals, and the Raiders are down 13-0 to Rye at the half here. So if they want to advance to the state semifinals for the 3rd time in school history under the current state playoff format, they're going to need some big adjustments in the second half. They have had plenty to be proud of in the first half, but they're down by 2 scores. And I mentioned it in the intro, and it really is the only thing that matters, the points on the board. And so far, Port does not have any. Speaking of points, let's take a look at the Witherell Law out-of-town scoreboard update for our halftime show. And we'll start with the Class AA State Regional, the quarterfinal game that's happening at Middletown's Fowler Field. The last we saw, it was CBA, the Christian Brothers Academy, out of the Albany area, Section 2, leading Middletown 15-14 late in the second quarter there. Also late in the second quarter at Mahopac, your defending New York State Class C champion O'Neill Raiders have a slim 3-0 lead over the Section 1 Class C champs Bronxville. That is also late in the second quarter. Bronxville is a team that Port Jervis played to open the 2022 football season, and they have dropped down to Class C this year, and they are O'Neill's opponent as O'Neill tries to defend their state championship from a season ago. They have a 3-0 lead over Bronxville right now. Last night, all 3 Section 9 teams fell by the wayside as in Class D, Burke Catholic lost to Haldane 37-19. And in Goshen last night, Cornwall lost 49-14 to Niskayuna. Moravia defeated Sullivan West 44-0 in the 8-man state tournament last night. Moravia out of Section 4. So Section 9 teams 0-3 last night. All of them lost to an opponent from a different section. Burke lost to Section 1, Cornwall lost to Section 2, and Sullivan West lost to Section 4. In Pennsylvania last night, Delaware Valley, for the second time in school history, advanced to the PIAA state quarterfinals with a 56-27 win over Whitehall, the 5A district champs from District 11. That was a payback game for the Warriors as they opened last season's state tournament at Whitehall and lost. So they bring Whitehall to Milford and beat them 56-27. Next week, they will play either Imhotep Charter, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, or Roman Catholic. Those two teams are playing for the District 12 5A football championship, and that's the Philadelphia area, District 12. Let's see if I can get a score update for you. So far, no good. But if I can get that, I'll bring it to you. That, of course, is a game that is of tremendous interest to us because it will determine who our brothers in broadcasting, Jake Graziano and Craig Brown, see next weekend in the Delaware Valley football playoffs. So that's a look at our Witherell Law out-of-town scoreboard. Let's see here. We have Shenendehowa and Carmel playing in the other East Regional quarterfinal in AA. Our own Wizard, Gavin Burt, his favorite Capital District team, besides Bethlehem, because they struggle in football. Ravenna, Coyman, Selkirk, they're taking on Peru out of Section 7 right now. The winner of that plays the winner of this. And then I mentioned O'Neill and Bronxville playing in the Class C Regional. That winner gets Section 2's Fonda Fultonville on November 25th at Middletown High School. So I'm going to send it back to the studio for a quick break. When we get back, we'll speak with Noah Sotelo and Richard O'Olina, a pair of seniors on this Raiders football team here at Goshen. It is halftime, and Port Jervis trails Rye 13-0. You're listening to live radio coverage of Port Jervis High School football on WDLC Country, presented by ADAC.
After 9 years as an assistant district attorney, Matt Witherow returned to his hometown to serve the community he grew up in. Now located at 150 East Main Street, Matt Witherow is licensed in New York and Pennsylvania to help you navigate legal matters including real estate transactions, personal injury, wills, traffic matters, and foreclosure assistance. Count on the law office of Matthew D. Witherow to guide you like a neighbor would. Call for a free consultation, 856-5900 for the law office of Matthew D. Witherow. Online at port-jervis-law.com.
Uh-oh, is it an allergy or a cold? There's only one way to know for sure. Port Jervis native Dr. Sarah Little of Little Pediatrics is here to help your child get back outside playing in no time. Parents need a pediatrician they know and trust. Little Pediatrics is open Monday through Saturday. To schedule an appointment, call 845-672-3995. Little Pediatrics, Orchard Street, Port Jervis. Don't forget to like Little Pediatrics on Facebook, too.
All right, class. Let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him in the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow, awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We're going back to the field for more Port Jervis football, only on WDLC Country.
All right, it's time now for another senior spotlight. We're talking to Noah Sotelo and Richard O'Olina. Guys, thank you for giving me some of your time. First, start us off by telling us what your roles are on the team. Noah, we'll start with you.
I'm a corner or defensive back.
Richard?
I am a hybrid safety and special teams player.
So, Richard, we were talking before we started recording here. At this stage of the season, everybody knows it's the playoffs. It's the state playoffs. You guys just won another section title. The practices, how are they different?
Practices are much tougher. People are 100% full of the ball. We just have to do what we got to do to get the job done.
Noah, is the message from the coaches at all different this time of year?
Oh, yeah. So normal season, it's always go hard every day, all day. But now especially, it's go hard or go home. So we really got to go all out every practice.
So you guys played another Saturday game. You're right back at practice on Monday, but this time as Section 9 champs, with the schedule being kind of like normal, you're just right back at it. Have you had an opportunity to reflect on what it means to your senior class winning a 5th straight Section 9 title, Noah?
I mean, of course, but we got our section title, but we're still going, I'm happy we got it, but we're still focused on the future.
Richard, we're talking to a couple of your teammates, Dorian and Derek, and I asked them what was the reaction like in school, when you guys came back to school Monday after the section title. I want to get your take on it, too. Teachers, classmates, what kinds of things did you guys hear when you came back to school Monday?
Many congratulations, high fives, handshakes, mostly all that, and everyone seemed to be very happy about our 5th straight section title win.
Outside of school, did you get any reaction, family, friends, community?
Oh, yeah, everybody in Port Jervis, we're a football town, so everywhere you go, it's you're on the football team, right? Congratulations, congratulations to your whole team. It's a big accomplishment.
Normally during the local playoffs, you guys are playing a team you've seen before. This year was a little bit different, but once you go to states, you're definitely seeing somebody you haven't seen before. What have you guys been able to learn about Rye, and what are you expecting from the game, Noah?
Well, I'm expecting big things from this game. We have film and stuff on Rye, so we're prepared. We're confident. So I'm just excited to get out there.
Richard, what do you think is going to be the difference for you guys in this game?
Definitely the ability now that we have with Jaron being able to pass the ball, and the triple threat of Carroll, Dylan, and Anthony really brings a strong point to this team.
Let's talk a little bit about outside of football. Are you involved in any other sports, Richard?
Yes, I'm a wrestler for the Port Jervis varsity wrestling team.
And what weight do you wrestle at?
118 this year. Last year prior, I was 110-pound section champ.
Do you think, we talk every year about the parallels between wrestling and football and how one helps the other. Can you give me your perspective on that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Wrestling helps football just as much as football helps wrestling. Strength with football, conditioning with wrestling, they equal out each other. And people that wrestle and play football, just great athletes, amazing athletes.
Is this situation with the football team, is this worth kind of putting wrestling practice off a little bit?
100%. Got to do what we got to do to stay in the state playoffs.
Very cool.
Hopefully win that championship.
Noah, how about you? Are you involved in any other sports?
After football season, I just plan on weight room and work.
Richard, how about you? When you're not playing football, wrestling, what are you doing?
Working outside of school and pretty much just trying to help around the community service hours.
So you guys are both seniors. I'm curious, what you might like to do after graduation. Richard, we'll start with you.
I'm actually looking at the nursing field, medical field. So really, yeah.
Do you have nurses, doctors in your family?
Yeah, my mom's actually an orthopedic nurse, so she's really the motivation in the house. Follow her footsteps.
Very cool. Do you have any other role models in school or sports or anything like that besides mom?
Sports would be great Kobe Bryant. Just his mentality really is what I follow by.
No, how about you? What would you like to do after graduation?
I'm not completely decided yet, but it's really either college or a trade school, I'm thinking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have an idea what career you might like to pursue?
If I go to college, probably computer science or computer engineering, and if I go into trade, something like welding.
So welding is pretty different than computer science. What kind of fuels those two interests for you?
Well, I've always computers and figuring all that stuff out. It's just fun for me. But welding, it's a high-paying job, and it actually seems kind of interesting to me. I have a couple friends who do it, but they live in Canada, so they tell me all about it. It seems interesting.
We're talking to Noah Sotelo and Richard Olina. We're talking to them after practice, and there was a little special huddle. You guys have your normal coaches talk and huddle after practice, and then we had the special huddle. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Noah?
We have an older coach. He's Chris Delato's dad. It was his birthday, and he's always here for practice. He's a great guy, so we had to have a little special huddle, sing him happy birthday. He's a part of our family, so I had to do something nice for him.
Richard, I'm on the outside. I can't see Coach Delato at all inside that huddle. What did you see on his face?
All smiles. Thank yous, high fives, hugs. Just a great thing.
Guys, thanks so much for your time and good luck against Rye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Noah Sotelo, Richard Olina joining us here at halftime Port Jervis trailing Rye 13-0. We're going to send it back to the studio for one last break. When we get back, Tom and Ethan will join me for the Bavoso and Plotsky keys to the second half. Raiders down by 2 scores and looking to get things back up and running on your home for today's country and legendary favorites, Country 95.3 and 107.7. It's all made possible by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
The Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County is a nonprofit organization dedicated to addressing the use of alcohol and other drugs by providing prevention education at schools and in the community. ADOC offers support services for individuals and families experiencing the negative effects of substance use. Substance use disorder knows no barriers. It could impact anyone, but it can be prevented through community support, education, and communication. If you or someone you know needs help, please reach out. Learn more by visiting adocinfo.com.
Hi everyone, this is David Bavoso from Bavoso and Plotsky, your neighborhood law firm. We're excited to see you back and ready for another great season. Bavoso and Plotsky continues to be here, ready to support the community and to assist with the legal needs of those that call this community home. Ranging from real estate to criminal law, family law to wills, trusts, and estates, we have the experience and the know-how to help you. If you should ever need us, please don't hesitate to call or email. Thank you and enjoy the game.
For more information on Bavoso and Plotsky, go to portjervislawyers.com.
A time of loss is a time for families to gather together for strength and comfort.
It was a sudden loss for all of us.
Fortunately, we had each other.
You have us as well. With a range of choices and services available, we've been helping families through their time of loss for generations. Gray Parker Funeral Home, our family serving yours since 1924.
It's Raiders football right here on WDLC Country.
The Raiders are down 13-0 to Rye here in the Class B state quarterfinals, Goshen High School, the Coliseum. 2 touchdowns for Rye in the first half, 1 missed extra point. Raiders have not been able to score. They've had a couple decent drives, but they were not able to finish either of them. Each team has turned it over once. Taking a quick look at the first half stats compiled by our own Tom Fagione, T-Bone himself. Well, the stats kind of tell the story of the game. Rye, 61 yards rushing, 154 yards passing, 250 yards of total offense. And I think it's important to note, we've been talking all week, Tom, Ethan, and I, about the balance in offense that this Rye team has. Just about 2,000 total yards each in rushing and passing this season. Very, very balanced offense. Last week, we saw them against Pleasantville run heavy. Uliano went for over 200 yards in that game, a 35-21 win for Rye. Today, they are throwing the ball more. I mean, they've carried the ball. I don't know how many carries they have. But anyway, point is, they have 154 yards passing to 61 yards rushing, just about 2.5 to 1 in the stats. So they've turned to their passing attack, and they're equally adept, and it's been pretty clear. Port Jervis offensively, it's not great. 23 yards rushing in the first half. This is a team in Port Jervis that has rushed for, I believe, over 2,300 yards, 2,500 yards this season. Total rushing, 2,512 yards rushing in 9 games. That's almost 300 yards a game. They have 23 through the first half. Dylan Fox, 3 of 5 passing for 31 yards. Anthony Theodore tried 1 pass attempt and threw an interception. Theodore does have 3 catches for 31 yards. He has 16 yards on the ground. He needed, 69 yards for 1,000 on the season? Yeah, that he came in with 931 yards rushing. He has 16, so another 53, and he'll get to 1,000. But the number that Port's more worried about is the number on the scoreboard, and right now it says 13 for Rye, 0 for Port. Raiders need to score. So Tom Fagione and Ethan McElroy will join me now for the Bavoso and Plotsky keys to the second half. Tommy, what do you got?
Well, Kev, I talked in the pregame, talked about my keys being all related to Vince Lombardi and so many great messages that he had. Second half message has to come from the coaching staff in the locker room at halftime to the players, and that is, guys, believe in yourselves, believe in this team. Yeah, they might have 13 on us. They might be beating us at the line of scrimmage. But, guys, we have a whole half of football left. Come on out here. Let's stick to a simpler game plan, and let's execute and get it done. Jump in and help me out here, brother.
Yeah, number 2. They got to establish this line of scrimmage, man. I mean, that's where the game is won and lost, is the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Port needs some pressure up front on defense, and they just need to light a fire under them and and realize, hey guys, this is the state finals. Like we are in the big of the big now. This is time where we have to show out or don't come out. You know, like you have to go out there knowing I'm going to put my body on this field and I'm going to give it for this team, and that's what you have to do.
No doubt about that. Want to give a Witherell Law out-of-town scoreboard update. They have gone to halftime in Middletown, and the Midi Bears find themselves down 21-14 to Christian Brothers Academy. So the Middies have their work cut out for them. It has been a rough weekend in the opening round of the state playoffs for Section 9. All three teams lost last night. The only team with a lead presently is O'Neill. They lead Bronxville 3-0 as they try to defend their state championship. And I just wanted to give a shout-out to a couple three former Raiders, I believe. Brett Fuller, Mike Malzahn, and Calvin Cruz with the Utica Pioneers. They are playing in a bowl game, which I had at the top of my head, and now I forgot. It's the Chapman Bowl, the Clayton Chapman Bowl. That game kicked off at 1 o'clock today. Fellas, congratulations on a strong season. Good luck to you in that bowl. And here we go. It is Shoemaker to kick it away for Rye. It's a deep end-over-end kick fielded at the 6-yard line by Jaron Rodriguez. And he's out across the 20, and he's pushed out on the near sideline at the 27. And that is where the Raiders will start this opening possession of the second half. Our third quarter is now underway, and it's presented by Masters Pest Control.
All right, Raiders, break the huddle now from the sidelines. Get out there on that offensive huddle. E mentioned and establish that line of scrimmage. You don't have to blow the guys off into the secondary, but if you can hold that line of scrimmage, give Theodore and Fox just little windows so they can sliver through. It'll open things up here in the second half. Also, guys, play with some confidence. Listen, you're down only 13-0 in this game, only 13-0, and you can easily come on back.
We have another former Raider playing in a bowl game this week, too. Ryan Costello up at Cortland. They're playing in Massachusetts this week.
First down is a run for Dylan Fox, and he takes it to the 31-yard line. Ball's loose. He was down, though, before that ball came loose, so the Raiders will maintain possession. It's a nice run on first down for Dylan Fox. The holes that were open last week are not as open this week, but Dylan is still not shy about carrying that football right up the gut. 2nd and 6 coming as they'll move it to the Port 31, a 4-yard gain.
A good buddy of mine listens in. I know he's back at home listening. That's 4 yards on first down. Guys, 4-yard carries on every down. You know what that means.
Yeah, it's a first down every 2 plays.
That's it. Well, 1, 2, how about 3 plays?
Well, 3 if, like, the third play being another 4 yards.
You and I do the math on our fingers.
Fox is going to throw. He completes it. That one is to the near side, and it's Josiah Welch, and he's to the 37-yard line. It's going to be shy of the first down by a yard, so it's going to be the 36. It'll be 3rd and a yard to go.
That's how Port Jervis is going to win this football game, with the quick strikes, the quick RPO runs, the quick plays. That is how you catch a team this good off guard. That's how you do it.
Yeah, and it's simple. You know,
it's
the defense is trying to stop the run. Ooh, a quick little pass like that. Now we got to think about pass, quick little run.
The first quarter, this same exact spot. They loaded up the right side and they ran left.
Fox out of the shotgun on 3rd and 1, and he'll give it to Theodore. Theodore is going to be dropped for a loss.
Come on.
Dropped for a loss. They're not getting any push at the offensive line to give Anthony room to run, and it's 4th down, and the Raiders are going to lose 3 and be forced to punt.
Yeah, that came like off the edge, though. Not even like through the middle of the field. That was through the middle of the line. That was off the edge. It's a very questionable. It's 3rd and 1. You should be putting your dogs in the backfield. Ryan Ross and Carol Dolson are just running it straight up the middle behind Ivan Figueroa.
4th down for the Raiders at their own 33-yard line, 13-0 Rye as we go inside of 10 minutes to play here in the third quarter, presented by Masters Pest Control, and Fox will be under center.
Quick little slant here to Josiah Welch.
You're going to try to draw him off sides?
Are they? That looks like what they're trying to do. Dylan Fox under center, taking his time. 3 seconds to snap the ball now. And Dylan will take the snap, and they'll go for it. And they threw the flag on a delay of game. No,
timeout.
It's a timeout by Port.
That's going to be
I don't know, guys. Here's my question. It's 13-0. You're down. 9 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Guys, the last thing you want to do is blow a timeout. You might need them late in the game.
Exactly. You take the 5 yards. That's what you got to do.
Or you just either punt the ball, which they're probably going to do now. I mean, I don't know. That to me, timeouts are always a strange thing because more times than not, you don't use them all in the first half. But, boy, the second half, once they're gone, they're gone forever.
They're so crucial in the second half. They're so crucial.
And here's the thing, coming out now. Again, I talked about good timeouts, bad timeouts. You take that timeout now, you got to do something here. And what Port needs to do, I hate to say it, all they got to do is they got to punt a 60-yard punt here. They got to bury Rye back deep in their own territory.
Yeah, because, I mean, all of Rye's possessions are coming out of, besides the one that started back there on the before the 15-yard line, are all in Port territory.
And with all due respect, you don't need to call a timeout to say we're going to punt the ball deep.
Punt the ball, exactly. And they're not going to punt.
They're going to go for it here. Wow, this is a gutsy call here.
This is very gutsy, man. This is...
Wow.
Oh, you better make it. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
4th and 4 for the Raiders at their own 33. Fox to throw. He's got Jared Rodriguez incomplete.
That was wide open.
And it's a turnover on downs. And you were right. He was wide open for a first down, and the pass was short. And they will turn it over on downs to Rye.
Here's the thing. Not only a turnover, but a turnover on your own 33-yard line.
Like, you got to punt that football, man, especially if you're going to come out and then run an RPO. You have to punt that football.
Kevin, you just ran the stats. I mean, they ran all over the defense in the first half, both on the ground and especially in the air. And if you're Rye, I mean, it's as if, you know what, we return the opening kickoff in the second half, and we're just driving down the field now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be first down for Rye. Left to right they go, and they'll give it to Uliano. Stutter steps, and it is hit hard by Ivan Figueroa. He gets loose and takes it to the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 3 for Uliano and a second down coming up.
That was stopped for a gain of 1. Port they need to rally behind their guys, man.
Oh, somebody's down on the field.
I think it's
Raiders have a defender down. It looks like Fergus, who is slow to get up right now, but he's on his feet.
Dolson also is limping over there in that right corner. He's holding his face, man.
Definitely
he looks like he can't even walk on it.
Yeah, boy, the Raiders, no margin for error with the injuries. Fergus favoring his right knee or his right ankle. We talked about it at halftime, fellas, and I said, I don't know if this is something I want to talk about on the air, but I think coming off of that 4th down play, you kind of have to. We knew how the deck was stacked in this game between Port and Rye. We knew that Port had to do 2 things well. They really couldn't make mistakes, and they had to get maximum effort from everybody. They had that pass open. They didn't execute. That's a mistake, and right now they're paying for it. 2nd and 8 for Rye at the Port Jervis 31-yard line. Miller out of the shotgun, man in motion. And it's a quarterback keeper, and it's going to be inside the 25 to the 20. A first down, still going to the sideline. Touchdown, Rye. Shades of Daniel Picard as Carson Miller, the younger brother of A.J. Miller, takes the snap, and it's 19-0 Rye. And the Raiders got beat on the far sideline. That is a backbreaker. You turn it over on downs, and you let Rye score, and it does not feel good on the Port Jervis sideline right now as the Garnet set up for the extra point.
That's not even getting beat, Kev. That's them beating themselves. They had him stopped for a probably 6-7 yard gain. They won't wrap up. They're just like they're trying to
They're going for 2.
Just get him to fall over.
And it's Miller with the ball again. No, it's A.J. Miller who'll complete it to Uliano, and he'll walk into the end zone untouched. And it's 21-0 Rye with 8:55 to go in the third quarter. We're back in 30 seconds with more Port Jervis football here on WDLC Country, presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
Who are you going to believe? The business who paid for this ad or the customers who paid for their product? Because this is what people say about Masters Pest Control.
I am so pleased with the service and support from Masters Pest Control. While it's too soon for my issue to be completely resolved, it has improved tremendously since they started servicing my property. I can't say enough good things about the staff and will definitely be recommending them to anyone who will listen.
Call Masters Pest Control today to receive quality service.
You're listening to Port Jervis football only on WDLC Country.
8:55 to go in the Masters Pest Control third quarter. The score now stands at 21-0 Rye as Port Jervis sees the Garnet score on a 2-play drive that takes a total of 40 seconds. It goes 34 yards because Port Jervis turned it over on downs at their own 34. The Raiders have made some really gutsy play calls so far this afternoon, and they have all failed, unfortunately. And they will receive this ensuing kickoff. It's a little bit shorter. Not really. It's fielded at the 5 by Rodriguez, and it goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And, we talk about it at length, fellas, and it's very easy to sit here up in the press box and say it. You guys both played. How do you rectify what mentally could be going on the sideline right now? How do you recover from that gut punch that Port Jervis just took?
So here's the one thing. Sometimes your X's and O's just don't match up to their X's and O's. And clearly this Rye football team is a balanced offense, a very strong defense, but also marked by some significant athletes. They are athletes across the board, top to bottom. And just there's sometimes your X's can't beat their O's, and that's what's going on here. It's plain and simple, and sometimes it hurts when sometimes you try some plays that really don't help you at all.
First down, Raiders at their own 20. They go right to left. Fox will take the snap, and he'll keep it himself. Dillon will go up the middle, and he will be met immediately and go nowhere.
And you could see on that play there, Fox stutter step because the hole he thought, and listen, that hole was there last week, the week before. That hole ain't there today. So Port Jervis is going to have to just keep trying and fighting. And sometimes, listen, man, again, you know it. Guys that played up against you back a few years ago, nothing they could do. You just were the better football player against them, and that seems to be the situation right here.
Well, I mean, it's hard to get something going when your quarterback is running a yard and getting smoked, absolutely smoked. It's not fair to Dillon, and it's not fair to that Port Jervis running backs. This O-line needs to start holding their blocks.
Second down and 10 for the Raiders at their own 20-yard line. Near side hash mark, they go right to left. Fox will throw on second down. Near side, and it is to Josiah Welch, and it's incomplete.
He's wide
as
open.
it bounces out of his hands, and it falls to the turf. It'll be 3rd and 10 now, and the Raider offense is starting to go down a road that you don't want to see them, and they are just missing.
And it's circumstances like this where quickly you're looking at a 3rd and 10. That's what happens. Listen, we all know last night, tonight, and for the next 3 weeks, there are going to be teams that are going to continue on, and there are going to be teams that are going to not continue on. Remember, in each division, there's only one team that wins their last game of the season. And right now, Port Jervis is not in that situation. They're kind of going backwards right now, so they got to kind of regroup, retool, and keep fighting.
21-0 Rye, 8:02 left, third quarter. Third down play. Fox to throw again. Steps up, and he's sacked again. No protection for Dillon Fox. He'll be dropped at about the 9-yard line, and it'll be a 4th and forever for the Raiders. They'll have to punt.
And that play right there, you had mentioned about that offensive line. There was a 3.5-man rush from Rye, and Port's offensive line just struggling right there on that play.
Like, Tommy, how is that even possible? A three-man rush against 5 with a backer in the backfield.
Well,
how do you lose that battle?
Yeah,
the numbers don't line up. They don't line up. That just shows that they have more heart and they're playing with more energy than you are.
Theodore will punt it away from just in front of the Raider end zone. Actually, his right foot's on the line, on the goal line. His left foot's in the end zone.
Port's going to get called with breaking the huddle.
12-man.
They got 12 men.
Well,
come on, Port.
Again,
that's just a mental mistake. That's something you can't have happen.
Well, we knew that they had to play, not perfect, but you had to really come out here and play exceptionally. And unfortunately for the Raiders, they just haven't done that so far. 7:15 to play in the third quarter. It's 21-0 Rye, and now Anthony will be fully in his own end zone. He's actually more than halfway deep in the end zone as they'll snap from the near side hash mark. The Rye return man is set up at the Port Jervis 35-yard line. So they're going to need a big kick off the right foot of Anthony Theodore. It's a low-line drive kick that'll bounce at the Port 20 and roll to the 26-yard line. And excellent field position again for the Garnets here. Twice they've had the football in the second half. Both times they've started with it inside of Raider territory. And the task gets even tougher for this Port Jervis defense as they trail 21-0 with 6:49 to play in the Masters Pest Control third quarter. And they have 26 yards to defend as Rye takes over at the Port 26. They'll snap from the near side hash mark. They go left to right here. A.J. Miller, the senior quarterback, is back out there. Last to the huddle, issuing his play call to his team. They break, and they approach the football, ready to go. Uliano in the backfield, 8-man front. And the setback, besides Uliano, is Archer
fumble on the ball.
Ball's loose. It's on the ground.
Get it?
The Raiders got it back.
There we go.
The Raiders recover a fumble. Ivan Figueroa coming away with it.
Now,
and Port has a little life here with 6:43 to play. So much football to play. But the way that last possession for both teams went down, you could feel a little bit of the life leave the Raiders sideline. Hopefully this turnover, which is the second the Raiders have gotten, helps them.
This should light a fire under you. Now you should be like, oh, wow, holy crap, we are in a football game. Now it's time to play. But that sideline is just dead. They're dead. It's like they're defeated already.
It's 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 24-yard line. Fox out of the shotgun. He's going to take it. He's going to give it to Dolshin. Dolshin skips a tackle. Carroll to the 30, to the 35-yard line. Carroll to the 38 before he's taken out of bounds. And a big run for Carroll Dolshin, the junior, on first down. Lights a little bit of that fire that he was talking about.
See, look what happens when you stick to the basics and you just run a basic trap play. Look what happens. You have the two guys from that right side pulling, coming to lay a smack down on whoever comes across their helmet, and they're ready to hit. That's what you should be running. That is your offense. That is Port Jervis.
1st and 10 Raiders at their own 39. They'll snap from the near side hash mark. Going right to left, down 21-0, 6:20 to go, and on a rolling clock here in the Masters Pest Control third quarter. Dolshin will move up onto that left strong side. Single back to the right of Dylan Fox, and the sophomore takes it. He's going to run right. Looking for some blockers. He goes to the 40, to the 45, Dylan to the 50, and into Rye territory to the Garnet 49-yard line.
There you go. Now keep running the ball. Keep running the football.
Another Port Jervis first down. Oh, a terrible spot, though, at their own 49.
Garbage spot. He got to at least the 52. I mean, the 49.
Well,
the opposite side.
I understand what you're saying. I thought he did, too, because he was active across midfield.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
He's on the far side of the field. They have a better look at it than we do. First down, nonetheless, for the Raiders at their own 49. What do you see?
This is a matchup nightmare down at the bottom of the field, man. This is a matchup nightmare.
It's a pitch to Theodore. Anthony to the 45-yard line. Not quite. To the 47. And again, we talked during the week about how much of an impact is Theodore going to have. He's had such an incredible season, such a dynamic athlete. And I think we all agreed if Port could get him into space, he could do some damage. They really haven't been able to do that today.
I mean, it's just because they're not holding their blocks at the line of scrimmage. They're not letting Anthony get to the line of scrimmage before he's getting hit. That's why he doesn't have that open space.
4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6 for the Raiders at the Rye 47-yard line. Fox will stay in the shotgun. Theodore to his left. The muscle is on the right side of the line.
Yes.
And it's going to be Dylan Fox carrying it to the 45. Dylan trying to get to the 40. Rye trying to strip him, but they don't, and Port Jervis will have a first down at the Rye 40-yard line.
I love that play, man. That's what I've been trying to talk about for the past 3 quarters. It's that play right there. Overload that right side and just have Dylan run to the left. This match up on this closest side to us is one of the biggest mismatches I've seen this entire game. They need to watch this. Watch this mismatch when they come back out here.
Port breaks the huddle.
And they send
1st and 10, 4 to the far side of the field. Fox, no, it's Theodore who calls for the direct snap. Anthony trying to sprint to the corner. Lets it go. It's incomplete.
Good job.
Jaron Rodriguez, brilliant, right?
Brilliant.
He was in trouble.
Brilliant. That was brilliant. Yeah, he was going to have a loss of 10 right there on that play. Oh, good job by Anthony.
Football IQ right there.
To see him down the field, knowing that he can throw the ball since the ball never went past the line of scrimmage. So, do it. It becomes an incomplete pass.
And it's 2nd down. Stops the clock. That helps, too. 4:25 to play in the Masters Pest Control third quarter. Rye 21, Port Jervis nothing. Raiders trying to make something happen here off the Rye fumble.
Port needs to score within the next 2 or 3 minutes to be back into this game. They have to. They can't go into this fourth quarter being down by 21.
Fox out of the shotgun. Theodore to his left. Theodore is going to take the direct snap. Anthony running left has a lane to the 35-yard line.
Nice block, Dylan.
And they escort him out of bounds after a gain of 5.
That'll bring up a 3rd down now for Port Jervis. You got to hold your breath when your sophomore quarterback, who also plays defense, is out there lead blocking for your junior running back.
Yep.
Hey, man.
And the big guy, Dolshin's far on the right side. So Port Jervis is like, all right, everything we're going to do now is nothing what you expect.
It's just all backwards. We're just going to run a backwards offense.
The play takes them out of bounds, which again stops the clock, and that's what the Raiders need.
I like that offense, though, having Dylan and Anthony.
Dylan's under center on 3rd and 5. Fox going to pitch it to Theodore. Theodore's going to throw, and he's sacked. He's drilled in the backfield. His helmet comes off.
See, you can't run plays like that when your offensive line is not holding their blocks.
You had mentioned
can't
it
run plays like that
earlier before. Sometimes those trick plays are no good. Here's the thing. Now, Theodore has to come off the field.
It's a loss of 11.
It's a drive killer. See, you try to be fancy, and you can't. You can't be fancy.
Well, here's the deal.
They've done that a lot today.
Theodore is the current punter because Dolshin's been injured with his right ankle. They don't want him to punt the ball, but Dolshin's out there now. They're going to ask Dolshin to try to punt this ball away with his sore ankle. God help this young guy. He's a tough kid, and he's back there now to set this punt back for the Raiders. And I give him a lot of credit. This guy, he's been banged up for the last few weeks, but he is a warrior.
3:20 to go. Clock rolling. Third quarter. Carroll Dolshin to kick it away in front of his own 40-yard line. Beautiful boot off the right foot of Dolshin. It'll bounce at the 20. It'll take a Port Jervis roll back to about the 18-yard line, and it'll be on the Raider defense again. So twice today, Rye has fumbled the ball. Port has recovered, and both times the Raiders have not been able to capitalize. And it hurts to see them get onto the Rye side of the field and just stall out, but that is what happened. And the Raiders defense will be charged with stopping Rye here. There's now 15 minutes and 3 seconds left in this football game. Port is down 21-0, and the Raiders are going to need something special here on defense to try to keep this game, to keep themselves in this game.
They cannot let Rye get past the 50-yard line. If they let Rye get past the 50-yard line before the fourth quarter, it's not going to end well.
Well, Rye's going all muscle. Under center goes A.J. Miller, 8-man front in front of Miller and Uliano. Deep pitch to Uliano. Uliano looking for the blocks, has some, gets past the first would-be tackler, past the second, still running, 50, 45, 40, and Ryan Ross finally brings him down.
Like, that play was stopped 5 yards. 5 yards. That's all they had of a gain. They just don't wrap up. They're trying to lay these big hit sticks and trying to make a play. No, just wrap up. Play basic football. It's not that hard. You had him stopped.
It's going to be a gain of about 49 yards.
Oh, gosh. You had him stopped.
And it's a first down for Rye at the Port 33-yard line. Tough break for sure for the Raider defense. They needed a big stand, and they get the opposite of that on a massive run, nearly 50 yards
First play,
for Chris Uliano on that play. First down Rye at the Port 33. Miller out of the shotgun now, and he's going to hand it off. Stutter step by Garnett. He has a hole. He gets to the 25-yard line, and he's wrestled down there by Fergus and by Welch. Second down coming up for the Garnets. The ball will be spotted at where they put this football?
I got it at the 24-yard line.
All right, so it's a gain of 9 and a 2nd and 1
How about
for
this
Rye.
Iliano's coming into this game, his longest carry all season, 28 yards. And on that play, he ran for almost 50 just the play just prior. And this kid is a junior. And as I mentioned in the first half, he's committed to Notre Dame, the big Notre Dame, to play lacrosse.
Gosh.
That's an athlete out there.
First, check that. 2nd down and 1. Miller out of the shotgun.
Didn't they just win a national championship? Am I crazy?
Garnett will take the handoff. Garnett, stutter step, has the first down and more. Carroll Dolshin brings him down. He's still on his feet, and the whistles finally blow inside the Port Jervis 20-yard line at about the 19.
Well, their 5 looks like our 5 out there with some fancy footwork as Garnett gets the Garnett's a first down.
5-yard carry. First down, Rye, 21-0 they lead with a $1.50 to play in the Masters Pest Control third quarter. Scoreboard update, Witherell Law out-of-town scoreboard update. O'Neill has extended their lead over Bronxville to 10-0. The defending New York State Class C champions lead by 2 scores against Section 1's Bronxville. A.J. Miller on first down. Going to throw it, whistle stop the play before it starts.
There's a procedure against Rye. Out-of-town scoreboard, how about this? Army up 21-14 over Coastal Carolina at half. So go Army.
Well, Rye hasn't made many mistakes. They have fumbled twice, and they have a couple penalties. They lead at 21-0 here.
Tell you what, the 2 turnovers. If I'm the Garnets, I'm very frustrated. They've left points on this field. Missed field goal in the first half, going for the
2
field
missed
goal
field goals, right?
Well, and then going for the second field goal late in the first half.
Sorry, Tommy.
No, that's all right, brother. It's all good. And for Port Jervis, I mean, you discount them away and say, why? What we could have been down isn't what we're down now. But Port Jervis is down 21-0. Boy, they'd like to have the third turnover happen right now.
Trips to the near side. Miller throws that way, and wide open for the catch is Hess. Inside the 10, 5, touchdown Rye. A 24-yard touchdown pass from A.J. Miller to Tucker Hess, and it's 27-0 with the extra point pending, 35 seconds left in the third quarter. And that one might do it.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
It is
a tough one for the Raiders, as that Port Jervis secondary unable to contain the Garnets. They'll set up for a PAT try. And for the Raider faithful, guys, still got to keep rooting for these young men right here.
Absolutely.
Lots of football left and lots of memories to be made.
We will be cheering them until the very end, and the extra point try was blocked.
I think that Port might have been offsides.
Ian Kemlani, trying the extra points for Rye.
Offsides by the Raiders.
That zone, man, it's so hard to teach kids zone. It's so hard. You see Coach Theodore on the sidelines freaking out, but it's so hard to get these kids to understand their zones. It is. It's one of the hardest things as a DB coach.
So they will try again the extra point. Kemlani kicking out of the hold of Carson Miller. And another whistle. And another flag.
They're going to force, you know what, if you're Rye now, you got to go for two. Why not? You're inches away.
Might as well, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be the play call next.
Throw the block to the sideline, just run it up the middle.
Kemlani's not leaving the field. Looks like they're going to go for it. We'll take this opportunity to remind you that ADAC's annual drug prevention poster and essay contest is underway. The 2024 theme is Team Up Together, Be Drug-Free Forever. Contest is open to any 1st through 12th grade students in Orange County. Posters and essays are due February 16th, 2024. There's more information on ADAC's social media pages on Facebook and Instagram, or by calling 845-673-5903. That's the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council's annual drug prevention poster and essay contest.
Kickers are weird. That's the second offsides for the Port defense. The kicker says, no, we're not going to take the penalty. I don't want to get any closer. Apparently the angle's not good for him. Yeah, coach says, we're taking the penalty. So now the tee will be set up at about the 7-yard line, maybe. So, yeah, don't think you have to worry about the angle here, kid.
All right, we'll try for a third time the extra point. And this one is true. 28-0 Rye. 35 seconds to go in the third quarter. We'll keep it here. The Raiders are down now by 4 scores in what has been a very challenging Class B state quarterfinal game. And we knew coming in, the Raiders knew that this was going to be the best Class B team that they have seen so far. And, there's a lot of different directions that you can take the analysis of this game. It's very easy to lean into the fact that Rye was a Class A last year and will be a Class A again next year. They're in Section 1. They hang with heavyweights like Somers. They lost to them in the Section 1 Class A championship game last year. Somers went on to win the state title. But the bottom line is, Tom, you said it to me earlier this week. You can only put 11 on the field. And Port Jervis is 11. It's a tough group of kids. They have worked hard all season long, preparing week in and week out for every opponent to try to get back to the state tournament. They are back here for a 5th consecutive Section 9 championship and a 4th trip in that time to the state tournament. It has not gone their way today, but this is a team in Port Jervis who absolutely belongs here. This was a game that they have competed in, even though the score might not indicate it, and they will continue to compete until the final whistle as another kickoff from Rye goes into the end zone, and it will be another touchback for Port Jervis on offense, 31 seconds remaining in this quarter.
Listen, high school football is about X's, it's about O's, it's about strategy, game plan, stunts, blitzes, all kinds of things. But at the essence of it all, it's about young men. And now even a young lady, kicker on our team. It's about developing the team concept as an individual, but also as part of the team. It's about learning to work with people that you may not see in class every day. You might see in the hallway. And it's about coming together in the afternoons at practice and working towards a common goal. The Raiders have shown that for the last 5 years, that common goal has been to not only win that Section Class B title, but to defend it each year. They've done a great job with that. They deserve to be here today. And you know what? They're earning a lot of respect right now for what they're doing.
First down, Dylan Fox to the 30-yard line. Dylan picks up a first down by himself on first.
And that's and what are we talking about here? We're talking about Dylan Fox. We're going to run down the list, of course, throughout the course of the fourth quarter. This kid's a sophomore. He's got 2 more years of football. He's experiencing now what it takes to get to that next level in facing a team in Rye. There's a lot of kids like Dylan Fox. Well, there's not a lot of kids like him because he's an exceptional athlete. But there's a lot of sophomores right now that are at home. What's the video game today? Was it Atari? I don't know. What are they playing, Madden or something?
Handoff Theodore. Theodore gets out to the right side, gets wrapped up and brought down at the 29-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1.
And there's another young guy right there, Theodore. He's a junior, 5'10", $150, and they're going to give him the line of scrimmage. Looks like he took quite a tumble there. He might be a little scratched up.
Well, he'll have a little time to recover because it's the end of the third quarter. We'll send it back to the studio for a 60-second break. The final 12 minutes of this Class B quarterfinal are coming up. Port down 28-0 to Rye here on WDLC Country, presented by ADAC.
Hey, do you need a ride? Dial 845-856-3544 for Bucky's Taxi. They serve the entire tri-state area with local and long-distance taxi service. Now, whether you just need a ride to work or maybe your family needs a lift to the airport, Bucky's Taxi can get you where you need to go. Bucky's Taxi takes great pride in their transportation service. That's why they keep their cars clean and their drivers safe. The next time you need to be somewhere, call Bucky's Taxi, 845-856-3544.
You got some projects planned for your house?
Oh, yeah.
You got time to do them? Yeah. You need to call Brace Landscaping. They do all kinds of landscaping and property maintenance, masonry work, fence installs, and more. This winter, they'll be offering snow removal, too. Don't put off those projects. Just hire a pro. Call Brace Landscaping, 845-253-4440. Find them on Facebook at Brace Landscaping.
Let's get back to Port Jervis football right here on WDLC Country.
Port Jervis facing a second down 28-0. Dylan Fox on the fake keeper. Flag on the play. Dylan wrestles across the 40 to the 42. He has first down yardage, but Port's going to be called for a hold.
Oh, my God. It's the first time I was thinking out loud, and I was almost about to say it. We haven't had a hold penalty at all. Both sides of the field, both sides of the ball. Yep, right there. Nice big hold.
Way to go, Tommy. Your conscience really.
It is. And there was no doubt about it. I don't know who it was. It was our right tackle.
Yeah,
he just bear hugged the defensive end.
Yeah.
So it'll be a 10-yard penalty against the Raiders. Inside the tackle box, you can get away with that. But, boy, when you're on the end, yeah, they're going to see you there.
By the way, one thing missing from the game today for Port Jervis is their varsity cheerleaders. Want to give them a shout-out at Disney World in Orlando for the Christmas Spectacular there. That's an event they've participated in year to year. All right, so now Port Jervis facing a second and pretty long. They're at their own 22. They need the 40. They sweep it outside to Anthony Theodore. Anthony gets the edge, 30. He gets to the 35-yard line, and he's pushed out of bounds at about right there at the 35. So a big chunk for Anthony Theodore.
See, that's the thing. Anthony has to run 25 yards to the left to gain 5 yards.
Well, he'll do that because he had Maddox McCormick in front of him. I'd hide behind that guy any day of the week.
Yeah, of course. But it's such unnecessary movement. Like, he shouldn't be running 25 yards across the field just to get 5 yards.
Absolutely. I'm a north to south guy in high school football, but a kid like Theodore, that guy has boundless energies. It's like he drank a keg of Black Rifle coffee, man.
Third down, 5 to go for the Raiders. They go left to right in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is presented by Brace Landscaping. It's 28-0 Rye. Fox is going to keep it himself, looking for some blocking on the edge on the right. Here comes the pursuit. Dylan Fox steps past it, and he's brought down to the 39, a yard shy of the stick. I don't know, guys. Easy for me to say. If he just keeps running, he gets the first down, right? Does he have the edge? Because he stopped to try to cut back.
Well, I think what should have happened, Maddox should have seen that guy was right behind Dylan and taken him out before trying to go for a guy
Maddox,
5 yards down the field.
He hit the wrong guy, and he pancaked the guy, but he hit the guy 5 yards downfield.
He's paying for it now. It looks like his hand's hurting him
He's got to pivot his hip back and chip that guy from behind. Hard play to do.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's
Raiders will go
easy
for
to
it.
talk about, Tommy.
Fourth and 1. From their own 39-yard line. Fox out of the shotgun. Dolshin to his left. Theodore to his right. Raiders trying to convert a fourth down. And it'll be Dylan himself. Dylan has the 40, has the first down, 45. And he's going to be taken out of bounds either at midfield or in Rye territory. What a run by Dylan Fox on 4th down to get the first down for the Raiders and keep the offense on the field.
And that time 9 hit the right guy.
Yeah, he used his lead block well. That was a very questionable play call, though.
1st and 10, Raiders at midfield.
4th and 1, and you run a...
Oh, no, not at all. That was a great play call. Look, it resulted in a first down. Nobody's got anything to worry about.
Were there a little out-of-town scoreboard update? Middletown still trailing CBA 21-14 in a Class AA regional at Fowler Field. Here at Goshen, it's 28-0 Rye. Theodore with the carry. Anthony takes it to the 50, and Anthony is wrapped up by a hive of Garnets on the far side, and he will get no gain on that first down play. I think they're going to give him the yard.
Here's the thing. We can break down the stats in the first half. Carroll Dolshin carried the ball twice in the first half. I don't think he's carried the ball at all here in the second half.
No, he hasn't.
And so his lower ankle injury has limited the Port Jervis offense. And if you're the defense and know 30's not getting the ball anymore, all you have to do is keep your eyes on 5 and 7. The Garnets have been up to that task.
Carroll carried it once for 13 yards in the third quarter, and he came up limping and hasn't touched the ball since. Second down and 9 for the Raiders. Theodore in motion, and it'll be Fox himself. Fox looking for some blocks on the left side. Dylan cuts up. Dylan gets 2 tough yards and then brought back down to the turf.
See, that's what aggravates me. It's like the Port, they have an okay push out the line, and then they just stop. It's like they make contact, and they're like, all right, I did my job. And that's what happens right there. I mean, Dylan could have gained another 5-6 yards, but he just got hit by one of the defensive linemen.
And the counter argument is this Rye defense is a machine gun. Yeah, maybe you can neutralize that defensive end or that defensive tackle. Their linebackers slide right up as well. I mean, they are a well-balanced team. There's nobody on this defense, that's sensational, but collectively together, these guys are a pretty good D.
I don't know. That kid, number 52.
Okay, he's pretty good.
I don't know what his name is. He's good.
3rd and 7. Fox going to throw over the middle. Has Maddox 30, 25 to the 20, and Maddox is tripped up at the 18-yard line. McCormick was wide open in the middle of the field. He reels it in for a Raider first down.
And a roughing the passer. Tack on another 15.
So that'll put Port Jervis. They were already in the red zone. Now they will be much closer. Boy, would it help to get some points right here.
I'll tell you what, Rye is a very, very good football team, but that's a penalty.
It's a dumb penalty, Tommy. It's unnecessary.
I was trying to find the smarter word for dumb, but that's a dumb penalty.
That ball's going to be on the 2-yard line, man.
That's a 25-yard pass play plus half the distance,
10?
so they'll take it to the 9. It'll be 1st and goal for the Raiders from the Rye 9. Port's got to capitalize here. They need these points desperately. Fox out of the shotgun. Dolshin to his right. Theodore to his left. Between the hash marks. Dylan's going to run left. He's got Maddox in front. There's a flag. Dylan gets inside the 5, dives to the pylon. He's short of the goal line, but he's going to the Raiders will probably come back on a hold. There was a flag thrown from the far side judge.
They're blaming me now, guys. They're blaming me. It's another hold penalty.
That's a tough one to swallow because you just got inside the 10.
God, it's the first time you've been inside the 10 since the first quarter.
10,
let's see.
28-0. Rye leads. It is a hold against the Raiders. 8:44 to go in the Brace Landscaping fourth quarter, and it'll take Port Jervis. Where are they going to put them here?
Put it at the 19. It was at the line.
Brutal penalty.
10.
It's a 1st and goal from the 19-yard line now.
The offense just needed a little more space to make some decisions here.
I mean, do you go to Maddox again in the middle?
Why not, man? That kid's earned it. The lead blocks.
I don't know. No.
He wants it on the ground.
You stick to your basics. That's why Carroll Dolshin's in the backfield right now.
Theodore in motion. Theodore will get it on the sweep to the near side. Anthony trying to get the edge. He's inside the 15. The 10, 5. Touchdown Raiders! Touchdown Raiders! Anthony Theodore from 19 yards out.
Finally.
And Port Jervis finally gets on the scoreboard with 8:21 to go in the fourth quarter. 28-6 in favor of Rye. Extra point pending. Will they go for 2?
Got to go for 2,
you have
fellas.
To go for 2.
Gots to go.
If you don't go for 2, you're just saying, all right, yeah, we might as well just not even kick the field goal.
Dolshin's out there. Fox is out there. Theodore's out there. McCormick is out there. And the whole offensive line. Fuller's out there as well. So there's options for the Raiders here as they set up to go for 2. 28-6, 8:21 left here in this fourth quarter. And, boy, the Raiders have got to fill themselves with some pride putting a crooked number up on that scoreboard.
Fox out of the shotgun on the 2-point try with Theodore to his right and Dolshin to his left. Helmet high snap. Dylan's going to throw for it. He's rolling right. Heaves it to the end zone, and it is caught. Maddox McCormick, the 2-point try is good, and it's 28-8 with 8:21 to play in the Brace Landscaping fourth quarter. We're back in 30 seconds with more Raider football here on WDLC Country, presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
You got some projects planned for your house?
Oh, yeah.
You got time to do them? Yeah. You need to call Brace Landscaping. They do all kinds of landscaping and property maintenance, masonry work, fence installs, and more. This winter, they'll be offering snow removal, too. Don't put off those projects. Just hire a pro. Call Brace Landscaping, 845-253-4440. Find them on Facebook at Brace Landscaping.
Yard by yard, Raiders football is live on WDLC Country.
Well, the Raiders are finally on the scoreboard with 8:21 to go here in quarter number 4. It was a 9-play drive, 65 yards. Actually, no, it was better than that. It was 80 yards because this came off of a touchback.
For sure.
An 80-yard drive for the Raiders that started with 35 seconds left in the third quarter. So this is about a 4-minute drive as we look at our Buc-ee's Taxi drive summary. Bobby, I'm sorry we owe you 2 because we didn't do one from the last Rye scoring drive, which was 33 yards on 4 plays in 1 minute and 5 seconds. But Port's finally on the board. A 19-yard touchdown run by junior Anthony Theodore. Sophomore quarterback Dylan Fox finds junior Maddox McCormick for the 2-point try. An onside kick. Ball is loose. It's on the ground. Rye says they have it. And they do. Yep, coming away with it for the Garnets. I believe that was John Turlow who recovered it. Nope, check that. That was Hess.
You want to know why Port scored on that last drive?
Yes, why did Port score?
Because they didn't overcomplicate their offense. They didn't make their simple RPO offense into a West Coast run. Like they didn't change anything. They stayed simple. They stayed to the basics, and that's why they scored. That's all Port had to do the entire game. Half of the play calls, all they could have done was run up the middle, and they would have been fine. Port should be in this game.
I love those plays where Maddox McCormick is out there in that green space, laying out those blocks. If I was a defensive corner or a linebacker and I saw big number 9 coming at me, yeah, I would. I'd have to come up with an alternative plan. Well, 1st and 10, Rye at everyone's
midfield
50-yard line.
I'll hand the ball off to Garnett. He runs left, cuts back up the middle. He gets 5 yards. Whistles finally blow. And it'll be a second down coming up for the Garnets.
Well, I mean, now you got to talk a little bit about clock maintenance. 8 minutes left here in this fourth quarter. Port Jervis down 28-8. This game is not over, but boy, Port's going to have the luck go their way. Going to have a quick turnover and quick strikes to get back really into this game. But the fact that they scored just 1 score here gives them some hope to believe that what they can do can work given the opportunity.
They have to start setting the house. They can't. They have to stop playing on their heels. They have to start playing on their toes.
Well, we know that Rye's going to stick on the ground here.
Chris Hicks is in the defensive line. They're going with Dolshin, Dean, Belize, Hicks, Figueroa, and McCormick up front.
Port can have as many people on the line as they want.
Yeah,
I don't know why this ref was.
2nd and 6, Miller out of the shotgun. He's going to give this one on the ground to Garnett. Garnett slips a tackle, and then he's going to be brought down by the secondary.
He was stopped in the backfield.
That's just poor tackling by the Raider defense. That's been a problem all game.
It was Figueroa who had him wrapped up in the backfield. Garnett just put a little slip on him, slipped right out of his arm.
They had him stopped.
They take it to the Port 43-yard line. Technically a gain of 3, but it's more like a 3rd and 2 where the stick is on the far side of the field. We'll call it a 3rd and 2.
Also more like a gain of 7, Kev. I mean, He was stopped 4 yards in the backfield.
Yep, that's a good point. 28-8, Rye in front of Port Jervis, 6:45 to go. Clock rolling in the Brace Landscaping fourth quarter. And under center will go senior quarterback A.J. Miller.
Wait, there's 22 football players, not more than 5 yards away from each other out there. It's like a rugby match.
Patrick Harrigan is into the game for Rye. And they're going to pitch it deep, and great blocking on the near side. And the Raiders slip through, and Ryan Ross brings Garnett down.
And he went out
it's
of bounds.
A loss.
And he went out of bounds. That's awesome. That kid, I don't know why he decided to go out of bounds, but he should have just stayed in. He stayed in and cut up. He would have had at least gain of 1 or 2 maybe.
So here's the deal. It's 4th down. They're going to keep the clock running. They're saying he didn't go out of bounds. Ball's going to be marked at the 44-yard line, a loss of 1 on the play. Now, Port Jervis has to be smart on defense. They have 11 guys in the tackle box area. You watch Rye try to draw them off sides. It'll be a free first down for the Garnets if Port jumps. Port's got to be very smart. They have to really thread that needle between being aggressive and being off sides. And Garnets are taking all the time in the world right now, trying to work that clock. I wouldn't be surprised they burn their time out here.
6 minutes, actually 5:52 as the clock keeps on moving here. 5 seconds left on the play clock. 28-8 Rye leads. They're going to the sideline. They're going to use the timeout here, trying to bleed clock. 5:43 to play. Rye wants a timeout. We will take one with them. 28-8 Garnets in front of your Raiders. We're back in 30 seconds with more Port Jervis football in your home for today's country and legendary favorites, WDLC Country, presented by ADAC.
Adolescent use of nicotine, alcohol, or other drugs could have serious harmful effects and should not be considered just a rite of passage. If you are concerned your teen may be struggling with substance use, ADAC can help. Teen Intervene is a brief intervention for youth who may be experiencing negative consequences from vaping, drinking, or other drug use. Participants learn about the negative effects of substance use as well as healthy coping skills. This program is free to all youth aged 12 to 19. Visit adacinfo.com to schedule an appointment.
This is Port Jervis High School football on WDLC Country.
5:43 to play. Brace Landscaping, fourth quarter here on WDLC Country alongside Tom Fagione and Ethan McElroy. I'm Kevin Halpenny. The Wizard Gavin Burt doing it all by himself back at Mission Control. 15 Neversink Drive there. And your Port Jervis Raiders trail the Rye Garnets 28-8 in a New York State Class B quarterfinal game here at Goshen at the Coliseum. Winner goes to the state semifinals next week against either RCS or Peru. And on 4th down, Rye's going to go for it. And they're going to go with a little misdirection, and they get the first down. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Anthony Theodore says no. He stops Archer Fenton shy of the stick, and the Raiders get it back on a turnover on downs. What an effort by junior Anthony Theodore. Immediately on that handoff, on that misdirection, the Raiders looked like they had it blown up, but then he slips through.
I thought Ivan Figueroa had him stopped in the backfield.
Yes.
It's just these kids. It's these Rye kids. They're so good at continuing that second effort. They're so good at it, and that's what's winning them this football game.
And that's what you need in states.
Yes, exactly.
Max effort.
You have to play that way. You have to play with your heart in your hand, ready to die on this football field. Well, that's a little OD. I mean, that's how I played. But
your emotion is appropriate. That's where we're at here. First down Raiders at their own 43-yard line. 5:36 to play in the fourth quarter. Theodore in motion. Handoff to Anthony. He sweeps to the far side, 45. Cuts up. Anthony to midfield, and he's absolutely drilled there.
But he gets right back up.
Yes, he does. And the Raiders will have it on a second and short here.
You got to run, hurry up. You got to run, hurry up. You can't go to the huddle. You can't.
Here's the deal, and this game is 28-8, but it does not feel like a 28-8 game, and the Raiders have to act that way.
Here we go, 2nd and 3 from the 50-yard line. Fox out of the shotgun, Goshen to his right. Twins on each side of the field. Dylan's going to take it himself, and he's going to be hit hard. And there should be, there's not going to be, but it's a sack on the play as Fox is dropped at the Port 44-yard line.
See? And that's Port's biggest problem. They have no push up front. No push at all. These kids, they're getting one hit. They're hitting their man. They think their job's done. It's not done there. You have to hold for at least 3 seconds. Hold the guy, if anything.
And one of the things is when you put fast tempo out there, you have to be prepared for that.
Yes.
Like that play right there were a couple players that were running at fast tempo. There were a couple players that were running at almost fast tempo.
Half the offensive line was like falling asleep.
3rd and 7 for the Raiders from their own 46-yard line now. In between the hash marks, a whistle will stop this play before it starts. It's a timeout for Port Jervis. We have 4:23 to play here in the fourth quarter. We'll keep it here. It's Rye 28, Port Jervis 8. Fourth quarter presented today and all season long by the good people at Brace Landscaping. Thank you for joining us on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Goshen. We hope you're enjoying it wherever you are. Crisp November weather. Port Jervis is down by 3 scores with 4:23 to go. So yes, the game isn't over. It is an insanely tall task for the Raiders. And by the way, last we heard Witherell Law out-of-town scoreboard update. Middletown still trailing Christian Brothers Academy 21-14 at Middletown. And you're listening to live coverage of Port Jervis High School football on WDLC Port Jervis. What do you got, Tommy?
Oh, I'm just so full of just the emotion of it. Being, I just mentioned it a little while ago, this is a 28-8 game. To me, it does not feel like that scoreboard right now. And there's a lot of what could have been, what should have been. But right now, Port Jervis has to do what they can to get a couple more up there. That 8 is nice, but boy, 15, 16 would be a lot prettier.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, Rye gets a little nervous.
On 3rd and long, the Raiders out of the shotgun. Between the hash marks going left to right, down 28-8. Fox to throw. Heavy pressure. He's got McCormick. McCormick at the 50. Maddox slipping to the 48-yard line. He's going to be awfully close. It depends on the spot of the football. I think he's at the 48. That'll be a yard shy.
Oh, dude, that's a weird spot. That's a weird spot.
I don't know. It was hard to tell because he was so close to the near sideline. They put him just shy of the 48. It's 4th and short.
Easy to tell up here that he was at least a yard close.
So here's the deal. This Raider offense that could get 2 yards at a clip at any given moment, they need 2 right now to get a first down. They don't have the guns to do that right now. Well, we'll see what happens.
4th and 1. Out of the shotgun. Fox is going to throw for it.
Okay.
Near side, Theodore's got it. First down and more. To the 40, to the 35, to the 30, 25, 20, 15-yard line, and Anthony Theodore's out of bounds inside the 15.
He's out of bounds at the 28, Kev. They're calling him out at the 28-yard line.
Wow.
That is terrible.
Oh, that's tough.
That's terrible. There's no way he stepped out at the 28.
It's a 20-yard play now instead of a 40-yard play.
There's no way he's going to tiptoe halfway down until the 10-yard line if he went out at the 30. There's no way. That's a weird spot. That's another one. That's just like, man.
27?
Man,
so 21 yards. It stinks for sure, but that's where the ball is. 4:04 to go. Clock stops when Theodore goes out of bounds. Fuller split to the near side. Goshen in the backfield with Fox on a first down for the Raiders. They'll snap from the far side hash mark left to right down 28-8 and a first down. Fox will run it himself. Dylan's got some room. He stiff arms one tackler. He's hopping inside the 25 to the 24-yard line, a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 coming for the Raiders.
Hurry up, Slaughter. Hurry up.
3:48, clock rolling, 4th quarter, 28-8 Rye. Raiders on the move. At the Rye 25-yard line. The clock is their enemy right now. They've already used 2 of their 3 second-half timeouts.
And one of them they used in the beginning of the 3rd quarter.
Yep.
And this is what we were talking about. The second-half timeouts, they always come into play.
22 seconds on the play clock. Fox out of the shotgun with Theodore to his right and Goshen to his left. Handoff. Theodore sprints to the 20. Anthony comes up 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Raiders!
Like, what I want to know is, where were these play calls the entire game? Where were these calls?
24-yard touchdown run for junior Anthony Theodore. It's 28-14 with the point after pending. 3:16 to play in the 4th quarter.
Where was this effort a half ago? Where was it? It was nowhere to be found.
Well, here's the thing, E. I don't know. You're going to know better than I am if the play calls were different, but we did notice in the first half Theodore was not getting to that next level.
And
is it different play calls?
What it was they were trying to kick everything out wide instead of trying to run up the middle. The running up the middle has worked all day.
They'll go for 2 here. Fox will go under center, offset I formation.
Beautiful formation.
Goshen in front of Theodore on the 2-point try. Now it's going to be a play-action pass. Fox rolling right. Dylan looking for somewhere to go. He throws it, and it's intercepted on the 2-point try. It's no good, and it's 28-14 with 3:16 to play in the 4th quarter. We're back in 30 seconds with more Raider football here on WDLC, presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
Hey there, it's Michelle Taylor. We spend the weekday mornings together here at Tri-States Country, WDLC. Have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy every minute of it. And don't forget to take us along. We'll go right along with you as we head into such a wonderful week of enjoyment and fun and celebration and blessings. And I will see you back here on Monday morning as early as 6 a.m. Today's country legendary hits were Tri-States Country.
We're going back to the field for more Port Jervis football, only on WDLC Country.
3:16 to play in the Brace Landscaping 4th quarter. Port Jervis has more points. They're down now 28-14 following a 24-yard touchdown run by junior Anthony Theodore. As we look at our Buc-ee's Taxi drive summary, Port Jervis goes 57 yards on 6 plays. It is 1 minute and 56 seconds in time of possession. The Theodore touchdown. Then the 2-point conversion was no good as Dylan Fox tried to find, was McCormick the target in the end zone? He couldn't find him, and it is 28-14.
It was like the little bleed play where they just bleed Maddox out on that right side, but I think he got caught up on a blitzing linebacker on that right side, and he had to block him. So I think that's why he didn't get out quick enough.
Yep, and now the Raiders will kick it back. Now they're going to try another onside. 3:16 to go. Young approaches the football. It is a short. Oh, the ball's loose. Ball's on the ground in a fortunate roll for Rye as it went in. Well, first it went out of the hands of Charlie Stevens, but the Raider cover team was not able to get to it quick enough. Stevens gets it back. Rye holds the ball.
Kick. That's how you're supposed to be kicking that ball. It's either you kick that ball so it bounces high, or you kick it so it's just like a little blooper.
Charlie Stevens going to the sidelines, and he is going to hide from the coaching staff.
Yeah, he's going back, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not on the team."
He dodged a huge bullet right there as that ball was flying over his head. He had a back behind him, but he didn't know that. And for the Raiders, an opportunity almost.
Port needs to continue stacking this box, but they need to have at least 1 or 2 DBs in the back.
You got to watch for that tight end to slip out there.
Exactly.
Rye loves that play. Garnett is the running back. Uliano has pretty much not been a part of the second half rushing attack for Rye. Miller is going to give it to Garnett. Garnett will get past the first level. He's still on his feet. He's going to be tackled on the far side of the field by TJ Fergus and Josiah Welch after he took it across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Good gain on first down by Garnett, and it is a second and short for Rye.
And Rye will be very deliberate now. Play clock is ticking down to 30. They'll use every bit of that 30 seconds. Game clock says 2:45, so it's a matter of time. If Rye can put together a first down or two, they will ice this game here. And if you're the Raiders, now you have to think of, we not only have to stop the ball carrier, we have to strip the ball free.
And you have to score 2 touchdowns in the matter of 2 minutes.
We've seen crazier things happen in the history of Port Jervis football.
But
the first thing is they got to get the ball back on the O side, and Rye is going to do everything in their power not to let that happen.
Miller will stay in the shotgun. He'll keep giving it to Garnett. Garnett has a first down and inside of Raider territory. He's still going.
Like this,
Maddox McCormick has him.
Wrapping up.
And they finally bring him down at the Port Jervis 34-yard line. What an effort by Charlie Garnett to get a big Rye first down deep inside of Port territory. A Raider defender is down on the turf right now. That is Dorian Belize.
And he came into this game. He was working off of a hand injury this week. And so he is on the ground. And to your point, E, the Raiders not wrapping up because they're trying to strip that ball away on that play. And it's a go-for-broke situation. And that time, the cash was not in the register as Rye was able to get a huge first down on the play.
I'm just talking in general, Tom. They haven't wrapped up all day. I mean, half of Rye's touchdowns have been off of broken tackles.
It's tough to watch.
Yeah, it's very tough to watch.
2:12 to go as Belize is up on his feet and is going to leave the field under his own power. 2 minutes, 12 seconds left in the Brace Landscaping fourth quarter. It's 28-14 Rye leading your Port Jervis Raiders, and the Garnets with a first down at the Port Jervis 34 after a 20-yard carry by the sophomore, Charlie Garnett, who has had a really good second half running the football for Rye. Great. Miller will stay in as the quarterback, and Garnett stays in as the running back. They have a fullback in the game as well. That is Patrick Harrigan, a senior, and everybody else is on the line of scrimmage.
Speaking of seniors, we'll talk about the Raiders seniors in just a few moments.
First and 10, handoff Garnett. Runs to the right. He's wrapped up. This time, the Raiders were able to get into the backfield and bring the ball carrier down. A great hit made by Josiah Welch. And it'll be second and long now for Rye. Port, of course, without... did Port call it?
Yeah, they're going to call their last timeout now. So the Raiders will get a chance to set things up defensively.
It's a loss of 2, setting up a second and 12. We'll keep it here. We have 69 seconds before this game is over. Rye leads at 28-14. For all intents and purposes, Rye is they have this game put away. I mean, it's not totally over. It would take something of a miracle. And it's certainly been a frustrating afternoon of football for Port Jervis. Last year, you play Pleasantville and you get behind big early. The game felt over early. This is a game that Port, they got behind big early. I mean, they were down 28-0, and it just felt like they couldn't finish drives on offense. They couldn't wrap up. I mean, we've said that about 25 times.
25.
But all in all, it was a game that Port Jervis could play in, and they just didn't execute on some critical plays.
Well, here's something interesting. Rye was up 21-0 last week against Pleasantville.
Yep.
And they allowed Pleasantville back into that game. Same thing situation here.
Game.
Port never quit on themselves in the second half. They always fought back, just not enough as Rye's setting up here for a second down.
Yep.
This should just about do it.
They're going to give it to Fenton on the end around. Ivan Figueroa will wrap it up. Not an end around, it was a counter. And it'll be 3rd and long now.
The clock will tick. Port Jervis cannot stop the clock now, so it's only a matter of time. The hardware's making its way to the sidelines as the victors will be rewarded with a quarterfinals championship plaque, and they'll move on. Next week, they'll be in Middletown. How about that, huh?
Yeah, they will. They'll be playing either Ravenna, Coleman, Selkirk, or Peru. That game is scheduled to kick off at 3 o'clock today.
The Wizards got his pick for that winner, doesn't he?
Yeah, we know where his heart lies. In the Ravenna Grange, 15 seconds on the play clock, inside of a minute to play in the game. It is a 3rd and 15 facing Rye. And if they let this play clock, there's going to be about 3 seconds difference between the game clock and the play clock. Fenton gets it again, and he slips through. He's got the first down, and that will do it as Cameron Barber brings him down, and he gets inside the Port 25-yard line. That will do it for this football game. Rye is going to defeat Port Jervis in advance to the state semifinals in Class B. And, we got to give a shout-out to the seniors. E, go ahead, buddy.
All righty.
You know these guys.
Yeah. Gonna shout-outs to all the seniors. Shout-outs to the entire team this year. I mean, it's been a very, very weird season, I would say. I mean, going from having one of the probably best offenses to start the year and then losing half your players halfway through and then having to get them back, then having to get a new starting quarterback. It's been a lot for this Port team. So to actually get all the way here and be here in this moment, it's cool to see, you know.
Absolutely.
So just going to give a couple shout outs. Number 1, Johnny Fuller. Number 2, Jaron Rodriguez. Number 3, Noah Sotelo. Number 4, Derek Young. Number 6, TJ Fergus. Number 8, Josiah Welch. Number 13, Richard Olina. Number 35, Dorian Belize. Number 34, Ryan Ross. Number 42, Alexa Bennett. Number 44, Ivan Figueroa. And number 50, Chris Hicks.
Quality kids, man. The senior class, not huge on this Port Jervis roster, but phenomenal kids, phenomenal athletes, and their high school football career comes to an end in the New York State Class B quarterfinals in a 28-14 loss to Section 1's Rye. Raiders season ends with 9 wins and 3 losses. We'll come back and wrap it up here from Goshen right after these messages. 28-14 Rye defeats Port Jervis. You've been listening to Port Jervis High School Football live here on WDLC Country, presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.
The Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County is a nonprofit organization dedicated to addressing the use of alcohol and other drugs by providing prevention education at schools and in the community. ADAC offers support services for individuals and families experiencing the negative effects of substance use. Substance use disorder knows no barriers. It could impact anyone, but it can be prevented through community support, education, and communication. If you or someone you know needs help, please reach out. Learn more by visiting adacinfo.com.
Hi everyone, this is David Bavoso from Bavoso and Plotsky, your neighborhood law firm. We're excited to see you back and ready for another great season. Bavoso and Plotsky continues to be here, ready to support the community and to assist with the legal needs of those that call this community home. Ranging from real estate to criminal law, family law to wills, trusts, and estates, we have the experience and the know-how to help you. If you should ever need us, please don't hesitate to call or email. Thank you and enjoy the game.
For more information on Bavoso and Plotsky, go to portjervislawyers.com.
It's Raiders football right here on WDLC Country.
We are back here at the Coliseum in Goshen, home of the Goshen Gladiators, and home today to the 2023 New York State Public High School Athletic Association's Class B state quarterfinal, a.k.a. the Eastern Regional Final, which goes to the Rye Garnets from Section 1, 28-14 over your Port Jervis Raiders. A third straight season for Port Jervis ends in the quarterfinals, and certainly a tough one to stomach for Port Jervis and for their fans, their community, the families. But with that in mind, I think it bears mentioning, repeating. We've talked about it before. We'll talk about it again. We talk about it every season. This is a team full of young student athletes, teenagers, some who don't even have their driver's license yet, some who are freshmen. And they fought all season, nearly 3 months' worth of football games, about 4.5 months' worth of practice, and about a year's worth of blood, sweat, and tears that went into this season. And we are incredibly proud of all of them. Their families are proud of them. The Port Jervis City School District is proud of them. The Port Jervis community is proud of all of them. Ethan mentioned the seniors. We wish them the best of luck in their endeavors after high school. Many of them will transition to winter sports. Some will look ahead to the baseball season in the spring, outdoor track. They're involved in extracurricular activities, clubs. They'll be looking towards scholarship season to see if they can get some financial assistance for their next level of education. Some will go into the trades. They'll go right into the workforce. Some will go into the military. But all of them will hold a special place in the hearts of their teammates and in this community as Raiders. And the juniors, the sophomores and freshmen, hopefully and most likely, they will let the memory of this game and this season motivate them for 2024. It has been an excellent season for Port Jervis High School football. Don't let the result of this game cloud the accomplishments of this team. 5 straight Section 9 championships for Port Jervis. That is a school record. It's a record that they've earned, and something that they should be and are certainly proud of. It's been an absolute pleasure for us to broadcast these games. First and foremost, we love football. We love watching Port Jervis play football. But more than that, it is a pleasure to tell you about the efforts of the kids of our community. Ryan Ross winning an award for outstanding defensive effort today. You know, we've got to cover Ryan since he was a freshman. To tell his story, to talk about his exploits, to get to know him. And that's really what this is all about, fellas. You're the closest, the least far removed from playing on the field. Tommy, you played, I didn't, but we've all had the opportunity to meet these kids and to get to know them. And that's what this is really all about, to talk about the kids, who they are, what they've contributed to the football team. They're not just football players. They're not just student athletes. They are quality human beings.
For the kids out there, I mean, I played with them my senior year at that last game. I mean, Carol was there. I think Ryan was there. What's his name was there. Chris Hicks was there too.
Ivan,
yeah. It's these kids. They all have really big hearts, and they love football. They love the sport, and I think as hard as everyone is there on them, they're probably 10 times harder on themselves. So that's something people have to realize and see, that these kids are, at the end of the day, just kids. Like you said, Tom, that we had a 14-year-old as our starting quarterback, doesn't even have his license, doesn't even have his permit yet. So I mean, they're kids, and they're just coming out here every week just to play something that they love, and that's all we got to give to them.
Well, and just keeping up with that, Port Jervis is so synonymous with high school football, the history and heritage. I talk about it all the time. I'm blessed to be involved in the program in terms of being the president of the Football Booster Club. And, you go anywhere in Port Jervis, and everyone always asks about the team. How's the team doing? How are they looking? How are the boys? And they already know the answer. They know the answer. The answer is the team is strong. The team is working hard. The team is focused on championships. And that becomes accepted in Port Jervis. It's almost the state of everyday affair is, okay, when's Port Jervis playing for the championship? And in the last 5 years, we've seen this program get to a level that we have never seen before. 5 straight Section 9 championships, unheralded in the history of Port Jervis High School football. And it starts from the fact that these kids are committed to the cause and they work together as a team. We saw that here today. Yeah, the numbers on the scoreboard, a little too many for the other team, not enough for us. That happens. But guess what? Each one of these young guys will walk away with memories of this game. And for the seniors out there, you rattled off the names of all of them. You know these kids. I say it every year, Kevin, to you seniors, you guys, and I say this with my heart is full of love and happiness because of the program and the history of our football program. You guys now become something very special. Yeah. You become a Raider alumni. And that's not something they just hand out. You just can't become one of those things. You have to earn that. So for you seniors, guys, you will have these memories the rest of your life, and enjoy these memories. Savor these memories. Keep these memories alive. Keep them with you from now and forever, because this is what high school football is all about. It isn't always about the wins. It isn't always about the losses. losses. It's about being part of a team, being part of something bigger than yourself, and something that once you've earned it, you'll have forever. So, guys, the seniors, you know what that means. You may not understand it now, but you will the rest of your lives. Now, for you juniors, sophomores, freshmen, 8th graders, 7th graders, the kids in youth football, guys, one day you will be these seniors on this field. Look at these seniors and see their joy, but also their sadness, and realize this is what this game means to these kids.
That's what it does to you.
Exactly. It's huge. It is something that'll be with you the rest of your lives, so embrace it, enjoy it, whether you're playing youth football or right up to your senior year. Have a blast, and when you put on that red and black, it means something special. And one more thing for you seniors, now that you're alum, I'll be shaking you guys down to support the program in the future. But Kevin and E, guys, thanks for taking me along on the ride. Another season here. Guys, I never really want to bring too much attention to myself, but 30 years now, this has been 30 years I've been in this box. And I'm not done yet, because as long as this team's on the field and as long as you guys let me in here, I'll bring the coffee.
It's going to keep happening for sure. You mentioned all the kids. They talk about Port Jervis being a family. We also want to give a shout-out to the coaches, the Stellato family, Chris Stellato, John Stellato, Jerry Stellato, the quarterback whisperer, of course, the head coach, Damian Stryharski, and his family, Frank Theodore, Eric Hartman, Anthony Rizzo, John Foley. This group of men led these kids along this season, a 9-win season for Port Jervis. A 7-win season, right? 7-2 coming into the game, 7-3 finishing up the season. Either way, we appreciate the efforts by the coaches, and it's been a lot of fun for sure. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, but a lot of fun for our coverage here on WDLC Country following Port Jervis High School football. Got a lot of people to thank. So first and foremost, I want to thank the kids who joined us for our interviews. In the pregame, Dorian Belize and Derek Young, and at halftime, Noah Sotelo and Richard Olino. Those were the 4 seniors that we hadn't yet spoken to on the air this season, so we were very happy to be able to have a chance to catch up with them and learn more about them and their contributions to the Raider football program. Want to thank the folks here at Goshen, their athletic director, George St. Lawrence, and Gus Lawson, the public address announcer. Quality people. Doesn't get much better than GSL and Gus Lawson. Want to thank our athletic director at Port Jervis High School, J.J. Gass, and Karen Howard in the athletic office for all the assistance and help they gave us. The folks we shared with the press box with back at home, Brian Rollman and Eric Hipsman. Want to thank everybody in the Port Jervis City School District for their support, all the way up to Superintendent John Bell. It's been a pleasure. Want to thank the folks at Section 9, Jim Osborne, Dave Coates as well. I want to thank everybody back at the radio station. Neversink Media Group supports our efforts to broadcast Port Jervis High School football, cover these local scholastic sporting events. This is lifeblood of the community, a big part of the community. This is the future of our community, these kids. And we want to thank Bud and Julie Williamson, the ownership at Neversink Media Group. We want to thank all the sales, engineering staff, the on-air staff, Michelle Taylor, Michelle in the morning, Monday through Friday on WDLC. She always supports us. Kate Brandon, everybody on the air and in the studio. Probably our biggest shout-out back at the radio station goes to the wizard, Gavin Burt. This guy is he's an invaluable member of our broadcast team. And, Gavin's role has changed a little bit, and his importance to the broadcast hasn't, though. He is a critical piece of what we do. And, Gavin, thank you for everything you've done for us. It's been absolutely incredible to work with you. You are a true professional. You're a brother in broadcasting, and we love being on the air with you back at the studio, man. It gives a broadcaster peace of mind to know that the Wizard is running things back there. All of our studio engineers over the course of the season, Zach Smith, Joe England, Jeff Anderson. I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out, but at the helm of that is Gavin Burt, the Wizard. Gavin, we love you, brother. Thank you for everything you did. We're not here without the support of the local business community. We want to say a big thank you to Attorney Matthew D. Witherow, the folks at Masters Pest Control. I mean, we talk about family. These are all family-owned businesses. Matt Witherow played football at Port. So did Bob Masters Pest Control. Bobby Gramling down at Bucky's Taxi. Jesse and Jamie Brace with Brace Landscaping. Dr. Sarah Little Pediatrics. She's a Port Jervis grad. Gray Parker Funeral Home. Sean Parker and Lisa Tefano, great people in the community. The good people at Berthium's Neversink Lumber. Millie Launt at Millie's Pooch Parlor, Don with two N's. Attorneys David Bavoso and Glenn Plotsky. Saw David Bavoso recently at Price Chopper. I mean, these are local people who operate businesses, professional services in the community. They serve our community, and they support our broadcasts, and we want to thank them. And our biggest thanks go to the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County. Every year they support us as our title sponsor. Just tremendous support from them. They do a lot of great things for the community. We mentioned before their annual poster and essay contest is happening right now. If you have a student, K-12, make sure you send them to, make sure you have them ask their teachers if they don't know already about the, it's 1st through 12th anyway in Orange County schools. If they don't know already about the annual poster and essay contest, make sure they check that out on 8X social media pages on Facebook and Instagram, or by calling 845-673-5903. And I want to thank my family, my wife Patricia, my kids Noah and Natalie. Your endless support is greatly appreciated. I love you all. Tommy, I love you guys. Another great season. We'll do it again next year.
Oh, yeah.
Port Jervis High School football lives on beyond today's loss. It's a historical program, and it will continue. Congratulations, fellas. Great season. That'll do it for us from Goshen. Your final score, Rye 28, Port Jervis 14. And you've been listening to live radio coverage of Port Jervis High School football on WDLC Country, presented by the Alcohol and Drug Awareness Council of Orange County.